church in Protea South in Soweto this afternoon. It's understood the massive blaze broke out at the popular Soweto church earlier today. Emergency service teams are on the ground in an attempt to contain the blaze. Spokesperson Robert Mulawudzi says no injuries have been reported.
Firefighters are currently attending to a...
Mulawudzi says no injuries have been reported.
Firefighters are currently attending to a local church on fire, reported in Protea South, and also the cause of the fire is still a subject of investigations.
The Gauteng Education Department has set the 9th of September as the final deadline for parents to submit all necessary documents required to complete the online admissions application. This applies to parents whose children will be advancing to grade 1 and 8 next year and have applied to schools through the online system. Applications will be closing in the next 9 days. Gauteng Education MEC Matome Chilwane gave an update on the status of the online application process during a media briefing today. He says failure to complete the application process means that parents may not ensure placement for their children. Thando Ngcobo reports.
During the media briefing, Gauteng Education MEC Matome Chilwane stressed the importance of submitting valid certified documents, particularly around the proof of address, as it is the document used to determine a child's placement. Chilwane has warned parents against submitting fraudulent proof of residence. He says in the past, parents have gone out to seek an address that is close to the desired school, which is not their actual home address.
I do understand that sometimes parents might have a temptation to prefer certain schools and go to certain areas and seek address, whether it's from a family friend, cousin, doesn't matter.
He has warned parents that schools have been given the right to verify whether the child actually lies in a particular feeder zone. Thando Ngcobo, Eyewitness News.
To this now, Transport Minister Barbara Creecy says the decision to allow private train operating companies access to Transnet's rail network will stimulate economic growth. 11 private companies have been approved to use the network through allocated slots across Transnet's 41 routes. This means the state will now work with private operators in moving minerals and other goods by rail. Speaking at a media briefing in Pretoria today, Creecy said Transnet itself will benefit from this move.
The benefits of third-party access, among other things, will include improving utilization of the network and thus increasing rail efficiency, reducing network unit costs by involving more operators, increasing revenue to contribute to the investment in the maintenance and modernization of the network, and reducing the external costs of freight logistics.
Creecy says allowing private companies to operate on the state's rail network will also create jobs.
This is a significant step in our rail reform journey and makes open access to freight rail a reality in our country. It will contribute to a more efficient, reliable and sustainable rail system that can promote inclusive growth and, of course, ensure job retention and future job creation.
Let's move to the Western Cape now, where political parties are still not in agreement over sensitive and classified information being considered before the ad hoc committee investigating police corruption. While some parties want access to classified information, the ANC says the committee does not have the power to declassify sensitive or intelligence-related info. MPs were debating before the ad hoc committee, probing allegations made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, which reconvened today to finalize its terms of reference. Babalondenze has more.
The ad hoc committee continued its deliberations today on its terms of reference, which must be adopted before the inquiry can proceed. Some parties have called for classified information to form part of the inquiry and not just be processed by the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence behind closed doors. But ANC MP Kusela Sangoni says dealing with classified information won't be possible, as stated in the terms of reference.
And where it makes a provision, or at least it outlines what the protocol says around classified information, that cannot arise in this committee because we simply just do not have the authority or the locus standi to deal with that classified information.
The DA's Diane Kohler Barnard says there's no way the committee can get information declassified.
I don't think there's any way for this committee to instruct that information that is classified be declassified.
The EFF says the committee must only consider classified information that will assist, adding that classified information can't be used to cover up criminality. Babalo Ndanza, Eyewitness News.
And the United Nations has officially declared a famine in Gaza. The organization has blamed the systemic obstruction of aid by Israel for the deteriorating situation. The famine was declared by experts at the Rome-based IPC, who said it affected 500,000 people in Gaza. The IPC projected that the famine would expand by the end of September, covering around 2/3 of the region. Israel has angrily denied there was a famine, with the foreign ministry saying the report was based on Hamas lies laundered through organizations with vested interests. Gold is trading at $3,331.69 an ounce. The rand is at 17.63 to the dollar, 23.68 to the pound, 20.47 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.54 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident on the R59 North. It happened near Swartkopies Road. Delays coming out of Heidelberg Road. Please be on the lookout there while travelling towards Bedford View. Bumper-to-bumper traffic along the N3 North between the Geldenhuys interchange and the Kilulis turn-off due to another accident seen reported after Van Buren Road.
In your sport, Lungi Ngidi, the chief destroyer as the Proteas beat Australia in the second ODI to clinch the series. Ruben Diaz commits to Manchester City until 2029. And Apelele Fassi to start at full-back in place of the injured Willie Leroux.
It's a fine afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 28 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, Johannesburg firefighters are currently battling a blaze at the Freeway Tabernacle Church in Protea South, Soweto this afternoon.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
You're on 702. Thabo Shola Mashao in for John Perlman. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to it. 9 minutes after 3 o'clock. We're together till 6. Great having you with us. The entire team is also here. Jonathan, together with Refuwe, they are producing the show. And Garabo is pressing all these complicated buttons and many screens in front of her. She's a technical producer and telling you what's happening on our roads and keeping you highly updated. Which traffic lights are working and which routes to avoid. Amo Ramela is also here. Together with Bali Dlamini, you've just heard from her. She will give us eyewitness news, including headlines every half hour. Also, Tola Yele will let us know what's happening in the sporting front of things. Stephen Khotes will give us business updates. He'll come into the studio and also let us know what's coming up subsequently in the Money Show between 6 and 8. And of course, you are the main ingredient. We can't do it without you. Thanks for spending time with us. You could be anywhere else, but you choose us. It means the world to us. Very quick update as to what we'll be touching on. You'd know that for grade 1s and grade 8s, the online registration, especially for schooling kids, it has been a serious problem. We want to look into that and save you some trouble of having to queue up, complain next year. What is going on? And we understand that the GDE received nearly 740,000 grade 1 and 8 applications for 2026 admissions. Tando Ngobo from EWN will join us and give us updates on that. Ituba is taking an opportunity to clarify what they term misinformation. We'll speak to Michelle van Trotzenberg, the head of marketing and corporate relations, in case you're wondering what's that about. I'm sure you've seen online and the digital space, social media, everyone else, well, not everyone, a number of people were actually accusing media for not dealing with the story. And they were saying that a number of winners come from certain big banks, including ABSA and FNB. Further allegations were that big jackpot, remember that huge one? They said, why is it that Ituba did not have a live show at that particular point? And we'll speak to them to sort all of those out and clear things out for us. So if you want to ask questions, you are most welcome to do so on 011-883-0702. Randall's One Song is also here. I'm not moving furniture, so all the standards, you will find them here. A book, a song and a dish, also coming up a little bit later on. In between, feel free to engage with us on 072-702-1702, 12 minutes after 3.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
And the team is here. Karabuchal is out, and in his stead is Amo Ramila. Amo, you good? Lovely having you with us.
I'm good. I'm well. Thank you.
You look distracted. You're all over the show. Are you not used to working with such greatness on the same show?
Well, I am used to working with greatness all round because I work for the best station in the entire Joburg. 702.
What a nice comeback. Nice comeback. You recovered very nicely there. I was throwing you under the bus. Jono, you good, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, everything going well?
It's Friday. Always good on a Friday.
I wanted to ask both of you, if you don't mind. Yeah. I mean, it's a Friday, Monday is gone, but gone with Monday are some things, great products, great items, and everything else that is no longer in stock anymore. You go to the shops, new products. What is it that you miss that's no longer there? Either it could be a product, it could be a clothing item, anything else that you miss. And this came about as Jonathan and I were having a chat earlier on in preparing for this session. And he then spoke about a number of things. And I told him that if I had a spare 10 million rands to waste, I would gladly open up a drive-in setup. Remember those drive-in movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to drive in with a car and then watch a movie from the vehicle and the sound.
Put the sound on your window.
Yeah, I would love that to come back.
Yeah.
I would love that so much. I mean, you're going out, but you're not really out.
Yeah.
You're still in your space.
Great memories from the driving. I mean, the first movie I ever watched at the driving was E.T.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one was that?
What do you mean? Oh, it was the one there
no,
on the
I'm not
east.
asking about E.T. I know what E.T.
It was on the I think
Randburg.
it was east. No, not the one in Randburg. That was there near Malibongwe Drive.
Oh.
But there was one North Star. It was North Star Drive.
North Star. There was one in Carlton Center.
What?
Yeah. Some years ago, there was one in Carlton Center. I think. I've been told.
Driving at Carlton Center.
Sky Rink, somewhere near Carlton Center. There was something like that.
Wow.
Maybe some people remember. Some of our listeners would remember that. If you do, feel free to set me straight on 072-702-1702. Other than that, what else do you miss, Jono?
Sure. There's so many. I mean, if you think about products, maybe just two. Fanta Peach. Do you ever remember Fanta Peach?
I remember Fanta Peach.
Fanta Peach.
I must say no.
I don't remember Fanta Peach.
Remember?
There was Fanta Peach.
These youngsters of today.
These youngsters, we work with kids. I mean, what is this? Disrespect. And Amo, you?
I miss, and I wish they could come back, people who used to sell newspapers on the side of the road. So first thing on Sunday morning, that was my routine. I was sent to go get the papers on every Sunday, and they were like literally at the street corner, you know.
Really?
And now you never really get to see that anymore. And if they are, well, bless the neighborhood you live in, because it was so convenient. You didn't have to walk all the way to a garage or drive to a garage or to a store to actually buy the papers.
Yeah.
That's what I miss.
Really? But, I mean, I miss Boom Shaka. I would want Boom Shaka to come back. You are staring at me as if you've seen a ghost. There was a popular group called Boom Shaka in South Africa. It's about time you listen to Boom Shaka.
What's your favorite song?
That's it. It's about time you listen to Boom Shaka. Oh, wow. Thank you for rescuing me, Amo. But I mean, I would want that. But also shooters. Remember shooters?
Yes.
The chips.
Yes, I do remember those, yes.
Yeah.
Those were so good.
Those were so good.
They were so
They were in a blue blue pack and
they had a little soccer ball with the blue pack, and there was a see-through soccer ball,
see-through
little round balls.
Oh,
of maize
yeah.
goodness.
You know, as we're talking about this, Scarabo, our technical producers, our technical producer was saying, you must bring back manners. I was like, oh wow, there's always that one person who would come up with that strange stuff, right? Good manners.
Children playing outside.
That's how cute to leave it. Let's leave it at that. When bread was cheap and politicians were honest. Back in the day. What would you like to see come back? It could be a product. It could be an item. It could be an institution. Anything at all. Please let us know on 072 702 1702. And furthermore, I would love to hear from you. I could be wrong about the existence of a drive-in setup in Carlton Centre or close to Carlton Centre. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Feel free to correct me. Send your voice notes or simply call us on 011-883-0702. It's 17 minutes after 3.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Yeah, and we wanted to speak about the members of parliament, but before that, Amo will give us an update as to what's happening on our roads. Amo?
Well, if you're traveling towards Bedford View, we've got heavy traffic volumes along the N3 North. This is between the Geldenhuys interchange and the Kilulis interchange, and that's due to an accident while heading towards Alberton. Another accident seen on the R59 North. This one is right near Soweto Road. It's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of Klipprifield Drive, and there's also bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M1 South between the Killarney Bends and the Crown interchange. Obviously, peak time delays piling up there. Please be on the lookout. More updates coming up.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
So you're fairly new, right?
Yes.
When did you start?
I started last year.
And how would you say the experience has been since you started? Especially given the cases you've attended to. Like when you're new, do they take you to like light cases first, or sometimes they just throw you in the deep?
I was thrown in the deep. I would say I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I really love it every day. Whenever there's a call, whenever we run out of the station, I feel like I'm a baby.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to get candy. That's how I feel. I enjoy it every moment.
Peace Sishuro, the firefighter.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Every pothole, power cut, or burst pipe tells a story of frustration. But how that story ends is up to you. Fix Local helps you report local issues, escalate them, or as a last resort, fix them yourself. Safely and legally, it empowers you with tools to work with or hold local government to account so you can build the neighborhood you deserve. Visit fixlocal.org.za to take up issues in your area. 702 supports Fix Local. Let's walk the talk and fix local together.
Ever driven 6 hours to get to a place that should have taken 1? Skip the detour with SAMRO, a proudly South African full-service airline, connecting you to 16 top destinations, whether it be for business or a break. Baggage included. Onboard snacks, always. Comfort and service, count on it. Because when your time matters, your airline should too. Book now at samair.co.za. SAMRO, more from your airline.
It's that time of the year. Sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, blocked noses and coughs. It's time to live, work, play and sleep allergy-free. For trusted relief for you and your family this allergy season, ask your pharmacist for the Adcock Ingram OTC Allergy Survival Pack. With products like Allergex Non-Drowsy, Cetisid, Levogex and more, we have you covered. Remember, Adcock Ingram OTC. And visit beprepared365.co.za.
Luck could be on your side when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 69 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 26 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 43 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old and play responsibly. E2 is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Every Thursday on 702 Breakfast, Old Mutual Corporate tackles the tough questions around South Africa's retirement crisis and how to change the future we're heading toward within the world of work.
So certainly I think we also on a journey. We've started our reform journey and we would have done the two-part retirement system, which covers the preservation part of it. We're going to reduce the leakage in the schemes. But when you look at the Australian context, it's a journey that has got a long time in it. So they started from mandatory contributions at a rate of 3%. They're now at 12%. So it's not a question of us copying and pasting. It's us appreciating retirement reform doesn't happen overnight.
The Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum, Thursdays between 6 and 9 a.m. Brought to you by Old Mutual Corporate on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Welcome back. 21 minutes after 3 o'clock. You'd remember that there's that Parliamentary ad hoc committee that is probing allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. They reconvened again and they wanted to finalize their terms of reference to guide the inquiry. It looks like they are stuck on one pertinent issue, declassification of information, but also dealing with sensitive information. Should it be admitted? Well, the ANC seems to think otherwise. Babalo Ndenze is joining us from Parliament to give us the very latest on that. Babalo, thanks for your time. Always great talking to you. Welcome.
Thanks, Thabo. Thanks so much, man.
Is this the thorny issue at Parliament right now, which is responsible for holding everyone ransom? Sensitive information, what to do with it, declassify information, as other parties feel that private, confidential and classified information should be part of this inquiry.
Yes, indeed. It's actually one of the many thorny issues that the members are dealing with as they try to finalize these terms of reference. So classified information, one of the key issues. The MK party had, been quite adamant that, classified information that the committee needs, the committee should be able to request that and be able to, go through that. But members are saying that that won't be possible. Diane Kohler-Barnard, for example, the DA MP in the committee, she's also a member of the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence. And she's the only member of this committee, the ad hoc committee, that has special clearance to be able to go through this information. And she also says, supports the ANC, saying that it's not possible to go through any of this or to declassify any classified information. The originator of that material or that document or that information is the only one that has the power to, declassify something, and that also requires quite a lengthy process. And members of the committee, none of them have security clearance. It's only the DA MP that has the security clearance. So members were stuck on that, but they did, reach a point where they did, understand the situation or the legal obstacles basically standing in their way from processing this information. But they did eventually agree on the terms of reference, just to give you the latest. And they've now adopted them unanimously with these amendments. So parties have all, not too long ago, have finally agreed that these terms of reference, they can now move along with them and start the inquiry and start looking at calling in witnesses.
And how did they resolve the classified information element?
Well, the classified information element now will just have to fall within the JSCI, I beg your pardon. So that information will be dealt with by the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. If you remember, the Speaker had initially, instructed the JSCI to be part of this process when she told the two committees, three committees, I beg your pardon, Justice, Police, and the Intelligence Committee, to look in this. So now the Intelligence Committee has not stopped looking into this information. In fact, according to the DA's member, they have, engaged with this, with these allegations by Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. So work has already started on their end, but that's where the classified information will end. It won't come to the ad hoc committee. It will have to stay with the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence, and it will be processed at that level. And then once they're done with that process, I guess that information will then, be processed, and whatever needs to be redacted will be redacted according to the members. And then at some point, they will get to see that information. But at the moment, at Thabo, there is no processing of any classified information before the ad hoc committee. It will stick to the public information that it will be dealing with, from the police or any other institutions that are implicated in the allegations of interference and corruption. So the way forward is that they will just continue their inquiry without intelligence or classified information.
Before I say goodbye quickly, when are they intended to start?
Well, they are now dealing. They actually dealt with the issue of their program at the end of the meeting after the adoption, and they now agree that they will first send out these letters to the various people, and the first order of business will be the police and Mkhwanazi, suspended Minister Mchunu, General Sibia, and any other people that are involved. But the date, they will confirm the date once these individuals or these witnesses from the police have confirmed receipt of the communication, and the members will have to be given 7 days to process the written submissions before they hear the oral evidence from Mkhwanazi and his colleagues.
Babalo, thanks very much. This will be very interesting to watch, given that there will be parallel processes that will be taking place on the same issue. The other one in Pretoria and the other one in Parliament, 26 after 3.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
702 indeed. And now we speak to Thando Ngobo, EWN reporter. You might have heard that the Gauteng Department of Education received nearly 740,000 applications for grade 1 and 8 for 2026 admission. And Thando, thanks. Welcome to the studio. I hope you're good.
I'm okay, Thabo, thank you.
What else is there, Thando, given that every single year we experience glitches in the system? We hear of parents who don't have children attending school at the beginning of the year, long queues in various Department of Education offices throughout the country, and we are told that children, one way or the other, will be placed. What other information came out?
Okay, so just to answer you in terms of the glitches, the department did say that they experienced last year a number of glitches with the online system. They did highlight, however, that was due to CETA, who was handling the admissions, the online system last year. But however, this year they did claim that they've had no issues with the system. They claim that the parents are happy with the process so far. It is a 5-step online process that parents must complete, and it has to be done online. The department has, however, highlighted that they have opened several walk-through stations in various districts to help parents with admissions with the process. However, it is done online. The period ends in next Friday.
Yeah.
So parents have these 7 days left to apply for their children in order to secure placement next year. And the placement date the process will begin on the 16th of October. The department did highlight that some of the parents or some of the applications, they are missing a couple of steps, which has made them invalid. The public schools, they cannot validate any of these applications because they have missing steps. So he's stressed that for parents or for guardians who are doing the applications to finish all of the steps in order to secure placement for their children.
And obviously very important to apply as early as possible. Do not wait for the very last minute in case anything else happens.
Did stress that we know that every year, the department faces challenges with children with parents who come to the department claiming that they finished all the online steps, they were validated, however, they're not finding placement for their children. Parents who did not at all do the online application, who rather wait until the end of the year, beginning of the year, to go to the department and request placement for their children. The department has stressed that since the placements are done through home address, they verified via home address. A child is placed based on its closest area. Yes. So the department has stressed has warned parents to not go out and seek an address that is close to their desired schools, because that's what they see a lot. That's what's happened in the past. Only to find that the children doesn't even live anywhere near any of those schools.
Yeah.
So the schools are allowed now to verify if a child lives within the radius. Yes.
Very interesting. Tando, really appreciate your time. Sadly, we're flat out of time. It's something that we will revisit every now and then. Tando Ngobo, EWN reporter, much appreciated. 29 minutes to 4. Mbali Dlamini standing by with EWN headlines. Mbali, hi, welcome.
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. The South African Police Service has exonerated corruption-accused crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo of any wrongdoing. Khumalo recently underwent an internal process looking into allegations against him. He and 5 other senior officers are facing charges of fraud and corruption. The charges relate to the appointment of 30-year-old Dineo Mukwele to an executive position within crime intelligence in April last year, despite her having no policing capabilities, knowledge or skills. Today, Khumalo appeared in the Pretoria High Court seeking the relaxation of his bail conditions to allow him to go back to work. As part of his release on bail, Khumalo is prohibited from entering any SAPS intelligence premises. In an affidavit read into the court record by his lawyer, Khumalo says an internal investigation into his conduct has now been completed.
After my release on bail, an internal investigation was concluded against me, during which time I was temporarily transferred as a precautionary. The outcome of this investigation exonerated me and my precautionary transfer was terminated.
National Treasury says it will be tougher on national departments and how it allocates funding in future. It says departments can no longer expect their budgets to naturally increase year on year. The department has now invited the public to make inputs on the budgeting process as the fiscus prepares for the next budget cycle. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
This year, government will have to pay back 171 billion rand in debt, which excludes its arrangement with Eskom, while still needing to borrow 588 billion rand to fund current expenditure. Chief Director at the National Treasury, Marumo Make, says expenditure must be reined in and departments can't expect years of incremental budgeting to continue.
Everything is a priority, we understand, but in an environment where the resources are constrained, you gotta have to identify priorities within your priority list.
Marque says Treasury has always come under flak for the way in which it seeks to control expenditure, but it wants to move towards identifying the strongest expenditure priorities.
What we normally used to call as the hairline cuts, it has never worked because hairline cuts tend to just treat each priority as if they are the same.
Marque says Treasury hopes its spending reviews will identify the country's most pressing needs and weed out underperforming programs where savings can be made. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
And lobby group AfriForum says it hopes the Western Cape High Court will rule in its favour when their court challenge against the City of Cape Town's new property tariffs is heard. Last month, the South African Property Owners Association filed an urgent High Court application to have property tariffs implemented by the municipality reviewed and set aside. AfriForum also filed its own court papers yesterday, joining the association's court case, which will be heard next month. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
The South African Property Owners Association and AfriForum are challenging the city's cleaning levy and its fixed charges for water and sanitation, which were implemented from July 1st. They argue that the metro went outside the national legal framework to impose its municipal rates and taxes. AfriForum's Morne Mostert says they are hoping the court will convince the city to change its stance.
Because of this disagreement, it's best if the matter is tested in court, and because of the innovation that the city shows, we think that they must be given at least to the next financial year to correct that promise.
The city has previously slammed SAPOA's court action, labeling it as an attempt to protect their own vested interests and to put their profits ahead of the people of Cape Town. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
In your weather, a fine Saturday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 7 and 9 degrees and highs of between 27 and 30.
And in the traffic, we've got delays along the R59 north between Kliprivier Drive and Swartkoppies Road. That's due to a major accident seen between these 2 points. While traveling through Boksburg via the N17 West, delays between Carnival City and the R21 due to roadworks.
The top story in EWN, the South African Police Service has exonerated corruption-accused crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
I was listening to the news and certain authorities in Parliament talking about Operation Dudula. We also agree that it is not a desirable, neither is it a thing that we should encourage, that people should be taking the law into their own hands. I argue if government was doing their job in terms of looking after our borders in the correct way, we wouldn't have to deal with all of these different issues as they enjoy life on the backs of the poor. And once again, I look to our political elite and I say, shame on you, you treacherous traitors.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Life is full of moments. Some are small.
Surprise, I got you a matcha latte.
Some are big.
Surprise, we're having twins.
For all those moments, there's the new Haval H6 SUV with a spacious interior and voice command. It's built for big moments. Get it from only $6,699 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM. Go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
My friend always says, not my problem, bro. But what if it was your sister, your mother, your daughter? Gender-based violence is everyone's problem. And good men don't look away. If you see abuse, don't be silent. Report it. Call the SA Police on 10111 or the GBVF Command Center on 0800 428 428. Strong men protect. Strong women stand up. Together, we can end gender-based violence and femicide. Break the vicious cycle. Act now. A message from Government Communications, the GCIS.
Every day I'm hustling. It's our reality as business owners. And it's good to know that there's someone out there who takes care of the business that makes the business. Gotta love My Way Business Insurance. Saving big on premiums with 24/7 emergency services, plus My Business Assist with marketing, legal, and labor advice services.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Oh, Tabo, nothing feels good like fresh car. I wish they can bring back that drink.
Hi, guys. Fantastic idea to bring back drive-ins. I remember when I was a kid, I lived out on a farm in Ridgevlei, and we used to go to the Fountains Drive-In. There was one in Fountains Valley, and you used to take this windy road through the forest to get there. Well, it seemed windy because I was small and young. And I remember I went to see American Werewolf in London. Yeah, that was a thing. But drive-ins, good idea.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. No, we don't want any statements or anything. They just need to bring back the Lotto live draws. It needs to be live. We need to see it live like they used to do it back in the days. No statement, media statement is gonna help.
I miss pickle flavored Simba chips.
Hi, TT and the team. I was thinking, and I'm trying to recall and think, what is it that I will wish for it to come back? And I couldn't find or see any except one thing. And one wish, if it could be granted. My grandfather, he passed away in year 2000 at the age of 90. I wish that guy can come back.
Oh, man. And it's a song for us as well. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness me. That really touched us. So we asked earlier on, in case you're just wondering, what are we talking about and what are those voice notes all about? We asked earlier on as the show kicked off, what is it that you'd like to see come back? It could be a product, it could be a person, it could be an institution, it could be a ritual, it could be something that is not there anymore in our shelves, in our society, and it faded with time. What is it that should come back according to you? And hence those interesting voice notes, including the last sentimental one about his grandfather. Oh man, that really touched me. 20 minutes to 4 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
Well, she's back, and she'll be back a couple of times during the show. Tolagele Mganga with the latest sporting news. Good afternoon. Welcome, Tolagele.
Afternoon, Tabo. Well, South Africa won the ODI series against Australia following an 84-run win in the second game. With the bat, Matthew Bretzker scored 88 and Tristan Stubbs 74, as South Africa posted 277. And in response, Lungingidi claimed 5 for 42 as the Baggy Greens were dismissed for 193 in the 38th over.
It's always a tough challenge. Guys always put you under pressure. I mean, I think we've seen throughout this series, Marsh and Head up front have really put us to the sword. So I think it was just a test of character today. It usually is a test of character against Australia. So just staying strong mentally and trying to fight back. Today there was a bit of assistance, so I felt like that's probably going to be my best effort. And I just try to utilize that as best as I could. But it's more mental battle every time you play Australia. Yeah.
The MTN 8 final lineup will be confirmed tomorrow, with Stellenbosch taking a 2-0 lead into the second leg of their semi against Kokune United, while it's 1-1 between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. Miguel Cardoso is expecting another intense battle and better quality football than the one on display in the first leg at Orlando Stadium.
After we took a look on the first match, it was clear that it was not a very beautiful match of football, and I don't expect the second one to be much far away from that. The teams are more fighting rather than looking to play. Well, I hope that, of course, we can increase the level on the second match and see a more beautiful football match than we saw in the first one.
Manchester City defender Ruben Diaz has signed a 2-year contract extension that will keep him at the club until 2029. In his 5 years at the Etihad Stadium, he's won 4 Premier League titles, the UEFA Champions League, the League and the FA Cup.
I've won many things since I've came, and hopefully I'll win more. But I think just the achievement of playing at this level for 9 or 10 years is just by itself one I will for sure be very proud of.
And Apelele Fassi will start at full-back in the Springboks' second rugby championship test against the Wallabies tomorrow. This follows the withdrawal of Willie Leroux due to a niggle. Leroux suffered the problem at training earlier this week and hasn't recovered in time to play. For Sasha Feinberg Mgomezulu, he's discussed having to wait his turn as he bids to become the Boks' next permanent fly-half.
And I think also the difference with having big dogs like Alejandro Pollard here, there's a ladder that you have to climb. And I think just learning from guys like him while struggling the act of 12 and 15, I think it only grows my game. To put on a Bok jersey is special every time. So whether it's 23 or 22 or 12 or 15 or 10 on my back, 6 on my back, whatever can help the team and help me get a cap for the Springbok.
Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
With Amo Ramela this time around, how do the roads look, Amo?
Well, we still have got that accident, a major one along the R59 North right near Swashkoppies Road, causing delays from Klipprivier Drive, about a 30-minute hold up there. If you are traveling in Boksburg, please be on the lookout for another accident. This one is along the N17 right near Tirhats Road. It's causing delays while traveling on the N3 North, bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Geldenhuys interchange and the Kirulis turn off. This is due to peak time delays. I'll have a look at the city of Tshwane. So on the N1 South, an accident after Rigel Avenue is causing delays coming out of Linwood Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North right near the Flying Saucer interchange. Roadworks are taking place along this route. Please approach with care. More updates coming up shortly.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
16 minutes to 4 o'clock. Thabo in for John. Thanks for sticking around with us. We're together till 6. And earlier on, we were asking before Tolagele walked in, what is it that you'd like to see come back? Make a return to society, a product or anything else, Tolagele. A number of people have mentioned a couple of things. We mentioned the Shooters chips. I don't know if you remember them. Those round chips that were in a blue packet. You're looking at me as if I'm talking about something from 1942 during the Second World War, but no, you don't remember them. Shooters.
I've never heard of them until
Shooters.
Today.
Fresca?
Yes, I remember.
Because nothing
Fresca.
tastes like
Yes,
Fresca.
I remember.
Okay, and this you'd remember, the old liquid fruit before the new packaging.
What did it look like? I can't imagine
Clearly
it in my
don't-
head.
Really?
I can't imagine it in my
Yeah?
head.
Yeah? I thought it was tastier, but maybe it's just a perception thing. But over to you.
I really wish we would bring back like kid-centered environments and kid magazines. Because I'm from the East, so Alberton used to have like Magic Company, and when we were teenagers, we knew when we went to the mall, we could sit there and our parents could shop like the whole day. I just feel like in the midst of everything being a serious business, there's just no space for kids to be kids.
ne?
Even the social media apps, the 50-year-olds are with the 16-year-olds, and it's just there's just no space for them to just allow themselves to develop. Even the shops, they don't cater just for the
Yes,
kids.
for kids.
Magazines also, like we had Nelly Teen Vogue, like
Yes.
those different magazines where
Yes.
you could kind of form your teenage identity before you upgraded to like the U magazine.
magazine.
But now like
Huis Genoot.
everything is together.
No, you're completely right. I mean, speaking of which, I don't know if you remember this. I know you're going to think that I'm from the 50s as well. There was...
I just think you are 50. There's a difference.
So funny. We need to bring back real comedians. How about that?
Fill it up.
Not sports presenters who moonlight as comedians. No, ShareWorld. I don't know if you remember ShareWorld. So there was... Amo, you should.
I do. Wasn't it a competition?
Yeah, to Renshaw, Nasrec, Renshaw.
Yes. Oh,
Do you
no,
mean
no, no.
ShareWorld was a competition?
No, there was a competition name
Called ShareWorld?
Yeah, I think. But there was
Ah,
also okay, no, it's fine. But I do remember. No, it's
Yeah.
fine. I've had I've worked.
Really?
There was. Okay, then I'll
I'm
give it
juggling
to
I'm juggling my mind.
to the listeners to tell me about that. But I know exactly what you're talking about, Sherwold, in the Joburg South, right?
Yes,
near
yes,
Rivoli.
yes. Yeah, just opposite Nasrec.
Yes, yes.
Very close to
Mhm.
where the current Renshaw, Nasrec is being held.
And it had rides. It had
Yes.
it was like a
Uh-huh.
theme park.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that I remember.
Thank you so much. Was that in 1984?
No, that wasn't in 1984.
Thank you so much.
Competition I'm talking about was called Road to Sherwold. I can't remember.
No, Shell Road to Fame.
Shell Road to Fame. There you go.
Shell Road to Fame.
And I think those should come back as well.
Yeah,
because
that was
you kind
nice.
of like miss the generic way of raw artists coming up. I
Yeah.
really miss that as well.
Yeah. You know what I miss? People who deserve to wear All-Stars wearing All-Stars. Not just everyone. Now, Tolagele can wear All-Stars because she went and bought a pair
Are
of
you
All-Stars.
asking for classism to come back?
No, it's not classism. There was a certain type of an individual.
Like, what kind of individual?
You wouldn't just wear an All-Star, a pair of All-Stars. You wouldn't.
You
if
needed
you
to
were not
earn your
street
right.
smart. Exactly. You wouldn't just. Now, everyone, I bought a pair of All-Stars. You're like, oh, no, you need to be a certain caliber of an individual too.
It's just
You don't want that.
we weren't able to afford you all stars.
Yeah,
Now we can.
now we can. And we
It's-
should
it's
still
got-
be qualified
Guys,
to wear them.
Listen, it's got nothing to do with price. It's not the amount. It's not the price.
What kind of people do you have to be?
You had to be street smart.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
It was only for what level the All-Stars.
That one you
Now
told me
the
like you
Bari
fail.
are
I'm
also.
so sorry.
Well, we are asking, what is it that should come back that is no longer in circulation? I said drive-ins, and I see that a lot of you are correcting me. They're saying that there was a drive-in in Carlton Centre Skyring. I remember that one. I do remember that one. 11 minutes to 4 o'clock.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
702 indeed. Build One South Africa leader Mmusi Maimane said yesterday that they have not held formal talks with the ANC on expanding the GNU and will not join any coalition that includes the MK Party, EFF, or racist parties. He went on to speak about how the GNU should carry itself and in the past 14 months what it has achieved. He joins us on the line right now. Dr. Mmusi Maimane, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702.
Good afternoon, Thabo, and good afternoon to fellow South Africans. Thank you so much for having me.
Their inclusion, put in this condition for being part of the GNU, isn't it somewhat presumptuous? Some people will say you haven't been asked as yet, but you're already putting up conditions for being included in the GNU.
Well, first and foremost, in our engagements with ANC previously, particularly around the budget process, it became quite clear to me that the GNU wasn't working in its optimal sense, A. B, it became very clear to me that there was no economic plan that could deliver for the interest of the people of South Africa. And the evidence wasn't just the multiple versions of the budget that we went through. The evidence is in the economy. The reality of it is that people are not finding work. And then thirdly, and most crucially, is that in those particular engagements, it also became common cause about the fact that in the tensions, there would need to be a resetting of the GNU. And as the news articles have been coming out about the prospects of us being included as part of that, it becomes important to say to South Africans that when you want to reset this particular GNU, as I've always engaged the ANC historically, that in fact it must be predicated on an economic plan that works for people. It must be future focused. It must bring reforms. Otherwise, there's no point in being invited to join a bus upon which you are unclear where it's going.
You're also arguing that since the GNU's commencement 14 months ago, South Africans have only seen endless infighting. But such is the nature of politics, isn't it? Especially when you are bringing people from different backgrounds, ideologically and otherwise. In Bosa's considered opinion, who is at the pinnacle of these fights and who is the problem within the GNU?
No, it was always common cause that there's tensions between the ANC and the DA. So that's not a secret. What is, though, has become something that's become at the very heart of why it doesn't work, is because you can have a statement of intent. And for people who have been married, they know that you can talk about vows that you put. But beyond your vows, there needs to be tangible, daily delivering of your obligations and meeting the commitments that make sure the union works. The GNU was configured around a statement of intent. It elected a president. It gave positions to people. Then after that, it did not articulate a plan. Today, there is no ways you can be able to say, this minister is being assessed against this plan, therefore, this is how we hold them accountable. Every party got a particular portfolio, if it did get, in order to do what it felt to do with it. So what we've seen in South Africa is more or less a continuation of the ANC's policy platform. And that's why the tensions have arisen. You cannot lead an organization of any kind without saying to yourself, what are its critical objectives? What do you hope South Africa will look like 3 years, 4 years after this thing has been formulated? How do I measure those indicators and so that I can assign jobs? So for me, in my humble opinion, the real fundamental tension, there are always going to be difficulties. But best you know what the destination is so that you are solving difficulties to arrive at a particular point rather than sitting, as I say, if you are on a plane and only responding to turbulence that comes from outside. So my call still holds. If it is going to function, it's irrelevant who is in it. So long as those people are bound together crucially by values, non-racialism, achieving a sense of economic prosperity, being clear the fact that people come first, and then saying to ourselves, this is the plan which South Africans can hold us against and hold us accountable to. In the absence of those things, it really, as the young people would say, just there for vibe.
What would be the lesser devil, Musi, in this instance, because MK Party and EFF are ideologically closer to the ANC than the DA would ever be on a very good day. So are you suggesting that the GNU would have worked far better with the MK Party and EFF?
I'm suggesting that what your ideology does or doesn't do is infused on the economic plan you deliver. The greatest crisis that South Africa faces is what is the economic plan. Now, if were you to argue the fact that what South Africa needs is mass industrialization, digitization, and the building of infrastructure, and the only way you can finance that is through a blended financing model, let's say that is part of your philosophical and your point of departure. As it happens, it'd be one of the things I'm putting forward in our plan for prosperity. Now, my cursory reading of MK and EFF, they're saying, no, let the state own all the assets and nationalize them. That clearly they cannot contribute to that plan, which makes them very difficult to work within. if you principally say the Constitution is a guiding part to underpin economic prospects because you want to give legal certainty to people, the MK does not subscribe to that, for argument's sake. So these issues sit at the core. Your ideology must inform a plan with which you work towards. And so I'm not bothered too much about what their beliefs are in its broader sense. It's what those beliefs mean as it comes to an economic plan that we must agree on. And so therefore, I would be self-selective in that regard.
But with all of that lesser devil analogy in the DA, things are still not going well. I mean, we are painting a picture of a scary figure in the MK and the EFF, but on one end, you still argue that it's not all rosy and it's not hunky-dory with the DA in the GNU as well.
Again, the DA, the part of the dilemma has been, as I stand, I want to build one South Africa. So I can't build a South Africa where upon which certain services are delivered to others and others not. That is not an economic plan. If you want inclusive growth, you want an economy that is fast, including more and more South Africans, and addressing to the question of inequality, you must appreciate that part of growth must be a growth that says, how do we attract more citizens? And if there are challenges in terms of where the DA's approach to that issue is, they are philosophically at odds with the ANC.
Dr. Maimane, but would you go into bed with the DA in the GNU at the exclusion of MK Party and EFF?
Thabo, my response is, let us talk about an economic plan. Let's not talk about
I hear
parties.
that, but then you'd need some pragmatism to talk about that. You would need still some warm bodies who belong to political parties to arrive at that economic argument that you are positing for.
And all I'm simply saying to you is that I have worked with all the respective parties that you've listed, excluding MK, because I don't know them. But I have worked with the EFF, I have worked with the DA, I've worked with the ANC. So I'm not here to say we will exclude one of them, whatever the case might be. I'm merely saying to you, let us achieve an economic plan and take it forward. Because then the parties themselves have to sign on to that, and we have to move on that basis.
And Musi, I think no one will argue with you on that one. It's the how part, right? We all know what we want, but it's the how part. You have a select few parties on the table, and you have to choose which one you'd like to work with. On one end, your argument is that the DA is not for all South Africans. On the other, you are questioning the economic policies of the MK and the EFF not being suitable for South Africa. So someone will say, choose your poison.
Well, I think what needs to happen here, Thabo, and I've always maintained the case that perhaps in some ways as South Africans, let's get the parties who agree. If the ANC agree with the EFF and MK, let them form a government. And what I'm trying to allude to is that the future of this country must be the creation of the alternative. And so my argument holds that ultimately the crisis now in South Africa is on the economy. Yes. And choosing players ahead of a plan is actually an exercise that has delivered what we are getting now. Let's choose a better economic plan and find the best players to play in it. And if they happen to come from respective parties, we can put them on the table. That's my job. That's my focus.
Dr. Musi Maimane, Build One South Africa leader. A minute to 4 o'clock.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
4 years almost to that fateful day when Babita Deokaran, a fearless whistleblower, was silenced. Rakesh, how are you as a family?
She lived for something that transpired now. Everything is coming now to the fore. And it's difficult for us. The name came up in 2021, so was the trail not followed?
Are you as a family being kept up to speed about what has happened since?
We have never.
Are we continuing to fail your sister?
Exactly.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
On 20 and 21 September, the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, brings you the flavor, the music, and the vibe with international stars, SA's top performers, delicious food from local artisans, and fashion that turns heads. It's the ultimate heritage weekend experience. Gather your friends on Saturday and make it a family picnic day on Sunday. Join interactive cooking demos, explore vibrant art, and celebrate 30 years of DSTV bringing entertainment to Africa. One ticket gives you access to it all. Visit ticketmaster.co.za with more on deliciousfestival.com.
Dear Journal, day 4602 of trying to be an adult. My doctor asked me how my quality of rest is at the moment. I told him I have two problems. I struggle to sleep at night, but I also struggle to awake at day.
Aggressively realizing your age? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's simple and like 19 Rand a day, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
Are you looking for the best savings on spectacles? At Specsavers, enjoy 1,500 Rand off when you get tested at South Africa's trusted and most established optical group. Get 1,500 Rand off all frames in store, or use your 1,500 Rand off on our leading lens enhancements, such as drive light lenses that reduce artificial glare whilst driving. Book online or call your nearest store today. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
This is EWN.
Father of murdered 3-month-old baby, a known gangster in Cape Town, and Joburg EMS continues to fight a major fire at a Soweto church. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. It has emerged this afternoon that the father of a 3-month-old baby killed in a shooting in Bonteheuwel in Cape Town this morning is a known gangster in the area. 2 unidentified men entered a home in Yellowwood Street earlier and fired shots, leaving the baby with serious injuries. Police are investigating 1 count of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. A manhunt has been launched for the suspects who fled the scene. Bishop Levy's CPF chairperson Graham Lindhorst says gang-related crime remains a major concern in the area.
The father of the child is a known gangster in the area, and it seems that they came for the father and the child was used as a shield, which I don't want to believe. That's the stories that goes around, because no father would do that to a 3-month-old child.
Lindhorst says he has warned police in the area for months about these crimes.
The community is angry because the shootings in that area has been going on for a long time, notwithstanding what some people are saying that Bonteheuwel is the safest place. It is not safe. There's shootings every day.
Back in Gauteng, Johannesburg firefighters are currently battling a blaze at the Freeway Tabernacle Church in Protea South in Soweto. It's understood the massive blaze broke out at the popular Soweto church earlier today. Emergency service teams are on the ground in an attempt to contain the fire. Spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi says no injuries have been reported.
Firefighters are currently attending to a local church on fire, reported in Protea South. And also the cause of the fire is still a subject of investigations.
In the courts now, a crime intelligence officer who was allegedly promoted to a position she was not qualified for says the South African Police Service will be prejudiced if she is not allowed to go back to work. Dineo Mokwela appeared before the Pretoria Magistrates Court today in a bid to have her bail conditions relaxed. Mokwele, along with 6 other senior intelligence officers, are currently facing charges of fraud and corruption. Thabiso Koba reports.
It's alleged the 6 senior officers colluded to appoint Dineo Mokwele as a brigadier to a highly specialized position within the intelligence division, despite her lack of experience. The 30-year-old wants an amendment to the bail condition that prohibits her from entering any SAPS intelligence premises. In an affidavit read by her lawyer, Philo Mahlati, Mokwele says the SA Police Service has not released her from her duties.
Due to the attached bail conditions which prohibit me from accessing my employment station and or the crime intelligence officers of the Republic of South Africa, such suffices as an indirect dismissal of my employment. And I submit that it tramples my employment rights.
The matter resumes on the 8th of September for further oral arguments. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
Transport Minister Barbara Creecy insists that granting private train operators access to Transnet rail network does not signal government's inability to manage freight rail on its own. Speaking at a media briefing today, Creecy announced that 11 private companies have been conditionally approved to transport commodities on net's infrastructure. This effectively opens the market to private players who will now compete with the state-owned entity to move cargo on the national rail network. Alpha Ramashwana reports.
In a move already criticized by some as the privatization of services that should remain under state control, Transnet will no longer be the sole transporter of commodities on its rail network. Transport Minister Barbara Creasy has, however, assured critics that while private train operators will now be allowed access to the network, the rail infrastructure itself will remain in the hands of the state.
So this is not something that is unique to our country. These reforms that we're introducing, they have been done everywhere.
She adds that public-private partnerships in the freight rail sector are an established global practice.
We do not believe it's appropriate to privatize infrastructure ownership. We want there to be interoperability in a strategic economic asset.
The 11 private operators granted access must now acquire safety permits and other operational requirements before they can begin operating on the state-owned rail network. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And Kenyan police have exhumed 5 bodies from suspected mass graves linked to an infamous starvation cult that came to light in 2023. The fresh discoveries come after the Mombasa court adjourned the ongoing case of Good News International Church leader Paul Ntenge Mackenzie, citing the discovery of new evidence. The exhumations mirror patterns in 2023 when more than 400 bodies were uncovered in the Shakahula forest linked to the church. Authorities say the remains were in a state of decomposition, indicating they had been underground for over a year. Gold is trading at $3,324.86 an ounce. The rand is at 17.61 to the dollar, 23.64 to the pound, 20.45 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.67 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Rivonia, we've got an accident on the Rivonia Road exit towards the N1. It's already causing delays between Vetkoppen Road and 11th Avenue while traveling on the N1 South. Bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Baklu Interchange and Winnie Mandela Drive.
In your sport, Lungi Ngidi, the chief destroyer, as the Proteas beat Australia in the second ODI to clinch the series. Ruben Diaz commits to Manchester City until 2029. And Apelele Fassi to start at full-back in place of the injured Willie Leroux.
A fine Saturday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 7 degrees, peaking at 29. Pretoria 9 and 30, and Vereeniging 7 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. It has emerged that the father of a 3-month-old baby killed in a shooting in Bonteheuwel this morning is a known gangster in the Bishop Levis area.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 4 o'clock. Thanks very much for sticking around with us. We've been at it since 3 and we will end this boat at 6. A number of interactions have come through. Obviously, in the previous hour, we had a chat to Baba Londenze, who was keeping us updated on what the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee probing allegations of police graft is saying, and he did inform us that they have finally concluded on the terms of reference, meaning that the real work can now kick off. We spoke also to Thando Ngobo of EWN about how GDE received nearly 740,000 grade 1 and grade 8 applications for the year 2026. This is regards to admissions, and the online portal will be open, and you need to make use of it as soon as possible. In this hour, we will speak to Ituba to clarify what they have termed misinformation, and we'll be joined by them in a short while. You are also part of the show, by the way. Whatever you see happening in and around the 702 land, feel free to get in touch. You can just give us a shout by sending a text message or a voice note to 072 702 1702. Alternatively, you can call us directly on 011-883-0702. On Twitter, my handle, well, it's now called X, not Twitter. On X, my handle is @IamFreeTSM, and the station's handle is @Radio702. Use any of those to get in touch with us. We look forward to that. The standards of the show are still the way they are. Much later on, Rendel's one song will come up closer to the top tail of the hour. And also, I will take your messages. I will read your text messages and your voice notes. 10 minutes after 4.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hello. There are two men on the M1 South with guns. I don't know what they're doing, but they are walking on the highway with guns. Just when you're on ramp on Greyston Drive, they're walking on the highway.
Good afternoon, Tower 702. If there's one thing I wish they could bring back, that's the BMW E30 3255S Eco-Session. I'll buy that. Thanks, Tabo.
How's it, Tabo and team? Yeah, the one thing that I think I would love to see back on the shelves in the stores are Holy Molies. It was like a ring size, almost like a chip mixed with a chocolate coating.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, actually.
No, I remember Holy Molies. Are they gone? Amo, did you get to know them, Holy Molies?
No, I'm hearing them for the first, the name Holy Molies.
Well, you're too young, I suppose. 12 minutes after 4 o'clock.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. How do the roads look, Amo?
Oh, hectic. And adding to that report we just got about the M1 North, we don't know whether it's police officials or what's happening in terms of the lady who was saying that there's 2 people walking around with guns near Greyston Drive. So if you're traveling around this area, please be on the lookout there. And if you are indeed an official, please do clarify the scene for us. If you are traveling along the N1 North, we've got some delays between the Baklu Interchange and New Road. This is through mid-range towards the city of Tshwane. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between the Baklu Interchange and Winnie Mandela Drive. In fact, an accident was reported right near Rivonia Road. So please be on the lookout there and approach with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience that brings you closer to nature. Get your adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities. Explore breathtaking 4x4 routes or hike the Blythe River Canyon, the 3rd largest in the world. Unwind with spectacular landscapes and majestic falls. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. Mpumalanga, embrace the unknown. Live the adventure. This message is brought to you by Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more information.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
I was listening to the news and certain authorities in Parliament talking about Operation Dudula. We also agree that it is not a desirable, neither is it a thing that we should encourage, that people should be taking the law into their own hands. I argue if government was doing their job in terms of looking after our borders in the correct way, we wouldn't have to deal with all of these different issues as they enjoy life on the backs of the poor. And once again, I look to our political elite and I say, shame on you, you treacherous traitors.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
The colors, the aromas, the live music. Your market is where weekends begin. From artisan food to unique handmade finds, it's a feast for the senses. Every visit brings you something new to discover. Now's your chance to say, I see you. Vote for your favorite in Gauteng's greatest food and craft market category at primemediaplus.com. Voting closes 27 August. Make it count, because Gauteng isn't just the hub of business. It's the home of excellence, and excellence deserves your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko.
Meet the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, re-engineered to be our thinnest and lightest foldable yet. Move with confidence, powered by an ultra-sleek, ultra-slim design that adapts wherever life takes you. Open your world to expansive screens, seamlessly crafted for work and play. It's innovation that fits your pocket. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7 and get double the storage on us. Hurry, offer ends 31 August. T's and C's apply.
Life's full of moments that need the right support, whether it's a dream vacation, everyday expenses, or surprise costs. So give yourself some credit with a Visa F&B credit card, a life resource that gives you e-bucks, travel perks, interest-free periods, and more. Apply for a Visa F&B credit card online or visit your nearest branch today. Help changes everything. T's, C's, and earn rules apply. Credit is subject to meeting the qualifying criteria. F&B is a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Johannesburg, the Tribute to Women show is here. Join us on the 24th of August at Marks Park in Emerentia as we honor 31 years of democracy and the incredible contributions of women in South Africa. Featuring an all-star lineup, Keisha White, Ami Faku, Thandiswa Mazwai, Loyiso, and more. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. The Tribute to Women show, proudly presented by Shia Entertainment.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
702 indeed, Thabo, in for John. Welcome back. We did mention that we will be looking at misinformation, or at least what Ituba has termed misinformation regarding various winnings. On social media and elsewhere, some individuals have been purporting that since 2020, major winnings have been coming from account holders from FNB and ABSA, but also recently on social media there were various accounts that were saying that the media is treading very lightly on allegations that Ituba is not as transparent as it ought to be, especially with its draws. You'd remember the recent big jackpot where there was a bit of controversy around it, where some people were saying that the show was not live on YouTube as it ought to have been. And so we thought, let us bring in someone from Ituba to give us some heads up. Michelle van Trotzenberg joins us right now. Michelle is head of marketing and corporate relations at Ituba. Thanks for your time. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Tabla. Thank you very much for your time.
Let's start first, for purposes of just being logical with the various accusations that have been made. Of course, FNB and ABSA comes to the top, and you've issued a statement highlighting that there have been other big winners from various banks.
Absolutely. The challenge we have is when we report on winners, winner stories come through from all over the place, all over the country. And, what has been stated in social media is that the majority of our winners are coming through from FNB and ABSA, which is completely baseless and untrue. We've been operating the lottery for our tenure now has been since 2015. And, we get winners that come from every single place around the country, as well as different platforms, from your banks, from your retail spaces, your digital platforms. I can even give you some examples. We had, in 2020 alone, we had a 114 million Powerball winner that came from a retailer store in Roodepoort. Another example would be a 167 million Powerball jackpot winner. The ticket was purchased at the Lifestyle Belita Centre in 2022. And also, if we go back to the single biggest jackpot that's ever been won in South Africa, which is 232 million, that was won in Cape Town, also a retail store. So, the social media only picks up certain parts of the winning stories, but there are winners across the line.
And I would assume the confidentiality also plays a role in this. There are some winners who don't necessarily want to come out. How do you deal with that, especially to address the fact that there was a winner and there was a real person behind a huge jackpot? And at times it does become suspicious. And I'm referring to the situation, I think, of recent, wherein Ituba was accused of not having gone live on YouTube, or at least on time, and as a result, there was a winner that came through, and the suggestions were that that might have been planted.
No, that is also completely misconstrued. I mean, if you talk about our winners, in accordance with the applicable law and regulatory requirements, Tuba is obligated to protect the identities of all our winners, unless they've expressly provided the information consents to be disclosed. So we do have opportunities where we have winners that have opted to participate in voice interviews, provide written statements, post for photographs, as well as conceal their identity, or some have even done TV segments for us. I'm not aware of any delays of what you were mentioning.
Yeah.
However, winners that are created, we do not know who the winners are until they come through and collect. We often do a search for a winner.
Yeah.
Once the winner comes in, only then can we verify that it's a winning ticket.
Michelle, I'll be very fair to you, and as one of the allegations came from Twitter, so I don't want us to be clutching at straws and creating figures that don't exist. If you go to the X account of Gulam, and it says 2 days ago, and he mentions the Lotto scandal nobody wants to touch, and I'll read from there directly as of now, as Gulam writes, and I quote, Charmaine Mabuza Situba runs a multi-billion rand lottery under a license extended twice. Once it was transparent live TV draws, clear rules. Now, no live broadcast. Ticket sales cut off at 8:30 p.m., even though the actual draw is about 27 minutes later, and the draw only released after a 5-minute block out. Staff whisper about rigging. Auditors give a cover, but SA knows the Zondo story. Auditors signed off on state capture loot. Big media stay silent. Their pockets lined with Lotto ad money with huge advertising deals. So the question begs, what is Charmaine Mabuza hiding? I close quote.
It's a great question, Sabal. And it's through you, 702, and yourself that you give us the opportunity and the platform to rectify those kind of miscommunication. So let me take a step back. In 2017, we identified an opportunity to reinvigorate the National Lottery, to really keep up with technology. And we moved away from a live draw show to a digital draw show with the use of an RNG system. And an RNG system is a certified independent system. It's completely separated from our Century Lottery system. So both of those machines or systems were completely in isolation, which means that one cannot be manipulated versus the other, and they are not speaking to each other. We close our sales at 8:30, and that has been the same modus operandi from day one. Sales close at 8:30. Once that happens, we fire up the RNG. The RNG gives us the draw numbers, and then that goes through to the broadcaster, which is then aired on TV. And even at that point, however, we still don't know if there are any winners at that stage, because we only have the one system that's fired up. Once the draw show is flighted, mainly at about 9:05, we then go through the full verification process. The verification process consists of a dedicated draw team that have got expertise, as well as an independent Mazars. We use independent auditors to verify every step of the process, and with oversight of the NLC. So we have our regulator, the National Lotteries Commission, at every single draw. We decided to move away from the ball machines purely because A, technology, B, because it was another way to make sure that we had absolutely no human intervention.
Yeah, but Michelle, what's wrong with just a live TV show? I mean, we see a soccer match live. A goal is a goal. You can't reverse it. What's wrong with going to one of the broadcasters? It can even be a national broadcaster, and just have a live show where everyone can see, even those who do not have access to data and connectivity. Michelle?
Sorry, I thought I'd lost you there for a moment.
Yeah.
That's a great question. We had the live draw show for many, many years. And as I mentioned earlier, it was an improvement from a technology point of view. So we decided we did not want to do a live draw show. As you can imagine, that is a huge undertaking. We start rehearsing 2:00 in the afternoon. We've got a studio, we've got makeup, we've got artists, and then we have to also have our ball machines tested every 6 months. All of our balls had to go in for testing, and there's human intervention. So we moved with technology.
Would you agree to exclusivity, though, that those without data cannot access the digital show, whilst open to air allows maximum views and would do away with all these speculations?
Absolutely. And we welcome yourself, media, to come through and review the process with us, just like our regulators do. We are completely transparent. We ensure that the doors are run with complete integrity. And as I said, we don't know anything about those numbers because it's a completely different system.
No, sure. Maybe, Michelle, we should take you up. Sadly, I'm out of time. Maybe we should take you up on that offer to be present at one of those draws, because if it's the stuff that you pays, if it's your own infrastructure, it does allow for a little bit of speculation. But thanks for talking to us, Michelle. We'll take you up on that offer to be part of those live draws to see it for ourselves. Michelle van Trotzenberg, Head of Marketing and Corporate Relations at Ituba. 25 after 4.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
So you're fairly new, right?
Yes.
When did you start?
I started last year.
And how would you say the experience has been since you started, especially given the cases you've attended to? Like when you're new, do they take you to like light cases first, or sometimes they just throw you in the deep?
I was thrown in the deep. I would say I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I really love it every day. Whenever there's a call, whenever we run out of the station, I feel like I'm a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, about to get candy. That's how I feel. I enjoy it every moment.
Peace Sishuro, the firefighter.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever as Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit. Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Joburg gets ready to paint the town purple. The Hollywood Bets 10-kilometer race is back. Bigger, bolder, and bursting with energy. Whether you're running for fun or just love the vibe, this is your race. Join thousands as we take over the streets in true purple style. Tickets are available now on web tickets, so make sure you grab your spots at the starting line. And listen up, KZN is 100% sold out. Joburg, it's your turn to shine. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0170.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers, like Steakhouse Classic Man-Size Rum for 170 Rand per kilo, Fanta Sprite or Stony Soft Drink 2 litres, any 2 for 35 Rand, save 13%, and Monster Energy Drink 500 mils, any 2 for 29 Rand, save 24%. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers.
EWN Business.
With the SG of Broadcasting, this instance SG stands for Stephen Grootes. Of course, it could also mean Secretary General of Broadcasting in South Africa, except there isn't that organization in existence.
Not
Grootes?
yet. Tabo, thank
What's
you.
the latest?
You're very kind. Good afternoon. The JSE All Share up 0.75% at 102,499 points. I think that must be a record high. Actually, it is. The financials are up 1.88. Industrials up 1.12 and resources down 1.11. Quite a lot of corporate action despite the fact that it's a Friday. So Goldfields, they're now down 2%, but they were pushing higher earlier after reporting a jump in profit over 160%. Tells you what a stronger gold price will do. They were able to increase gold output by 24% to take advantage of higher prices. This company, if you look at their share price, has doubled in value since the start of the year. I mean, it really is incredible. Despite that, they're down today, but so are most of the other gold miners. So Harmony's down nearly 2%, DRD Gold down 1.3%, Gold Fields, they're down. And so all of them are down. Anglo Gold's actually down 3% on the day. The logistics company Grindrod, they've announced a special dividend today. They reported a 23% jump in headline earnings, been able to weather the storm of difficult operational issues. Remember the situation in Mozambique, for example. But they then sold some assets to consolidate their ownership of the Matola terminal in Mozambique. So they sold some stuff up and made sure that they consolidated their ownership there. They clearly are betting on the future. Very interesting to watch that. And then Aspen shares, well, they're down 7%, Tabo. I mean, it's astonishing, nearly 8%. They said they would report a loss for the year to the end of June. So there's been R500 million spent on restructuring costs in China. And then they also have had a massive increase in the amount of tax it has to pay. There's been a, what do they call it? A reinterpretation of tax laws. Not their fault as I understand it. But they've lost half their market value over the last year. It declared a dispute with a customer from the mRNA products that it makes. And that started all of this a couple of months ago. And as a result, we started to see them go down quite dramatically. Telkom is down nearly 5%. Exaro up 5% after their results. Old Mutual up at nearly 3.5%, and Tungela up 3.27%. Some of the other financial shares, Absa up 3%, and then Momentum are up 2.5%, while Vodacom is up 2.48%. I should mention confirmation from the Transport Minister, Barbara Creasy, that she's granted 11 privately owned operators permission to run on Transnet Rail. There were 25 applicants, so we do expect that to be from the next financial year. So I presume early, the second half of next year, we will start to see that. It is all going on in the United States of America. Yeah. Okay, so Jerome Powell, he's the U.S. Federal Reserve. He's been given a speech at the Jackson Hole Symposium. While he was talking, he essentially said, and there are lots of different things to take from his speech, but he essentially said that the sort of data and events may mean they need to change their outlook, which I would interpret, this is just me, as saying that maybe we won't lower interest rates. Market has been expecting an interest rate cut, While he was speaking, guess who was tweeting? I'll give you a hint.
The Donald.
So there is a Federal Reserve Bank governor called Lisa Cook. And one of the people who is part of the Trump administration, was appointed by Trump, has basically accused her of wrongdoing. And Trump has now said if she doesn't resign, he will fire her. So it's all getting a bit real. I mean, can you imagine if this happened here? If people, remember when the public protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, who, couldn't even stand up behind her own findings in the Constitutional Court. It's really astonishing stuff. Anyway, so that's going on in the United States. I expect that over time, maybe by Monday, Tuesday, to have quite a big impact on the dollar. But let's just see how it plays out. The gold price, $3,354.16 an ounce. Platinum, $1,352.96. Brent crude, $67.85. And then the dollar weaker to the rand that day. So the rand at the moment, 17.47 to the dollar, 20.44 to the euro. Stephen Krotis, 23. Bit ahead of myself there. The rand to the British pound is 23.60. We'll be talking gin later. Stephen Krotis, EWN Business.
I was going to suggest that we start with gin. And 28 minutes to 5, Mbali Dlamini is standing by with Eyewitness News headlines.
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. A Gauteng police officer has been sentenced to 20 years behind bars by the South Gauteng High Court for the murder of her partner. 30-year-old Constable Courtney Madela was found guilty of killing her partner, Nomalungelo Khumalo, during an argument in February last year. The court heard that Madela threw acid at her partner, badly damaging her face and body. Khumalo died in hospital just a few days later. IPID spokesperson Lizzie Shuping says they welcome the sentence.
IPID's investigation revealed that the accused officer disposed of the acid container after the incident. She thus faced a charge of murder, assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, and defeating the ends of justice.
SA Steel Mills employees want the Industrial Development Corporation to approve the sale of the company to an investor who will prioritize their interests. A group of frustrated workers has been picketing outside the IDC offices in Sandton today. SA Steel Mills has been under business rescue since last year and has requested for an expression of interest from a potential buyer. Workers have gone without pay since the start of the business rescue process, Ntokozo Khumalo reports.
Disgruntled workers gathered outside the IDC offices are calling on the corporation to intervene and bring an end to the long business rescue process. Some employees say their families have been negatively impacted by this process as they have gone without pay for months. This is the second picket this year where workers have approached the IDC for assistance. SA Steel Mills employee Lihlohonolo Sileke.
We're hoping that IDC will agree with workers to say we'll support whoever says is going to save the jobs of workers and return the workers back to work, because people are hungry, are frustrated, and families are being destroyed.
The picketing workers say they need the corporation to respond to their demands and not just stay silent. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News, Sandton.
And in the U.S., Lyon Menendez is expected to appear before the California Parole Board today to seek freedom. His brother Eric appeared before the board yesterday and was denied parole. The two brothers' hearings come more than 35 years after the shotgun murders of their parents in the family's Beverly Hills home. Yesterday, the parole board found that Eric Menendez continues to pose an unreasonable risk to public safety if released, listing his teenage criminal history and the serious violations of prison rules as some of the reasons for denying him parole. The parole board's decision is not final, though. It could undergo internal review for up to 120 days after this. A fine Saturday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 7 and 9 degrees and highs of between 27 and 30.
And in the traffic, we've got delays along the N3 South between the Baklu interchange and Giluli's turn off. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South. This is in the Fairlands, Northcliffe areas. This is due to an accident reported near 14th Avenue. Delays from Bears-Nudia Drive.
The top story in EWN, a Gauteng police officer has been sentenced to 20 years behind bars by the South Gauteng High Court for the murder of her partner.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
4 years almost to that fateful day when Babita Diokoran, a fearless whistleblower, was silenced. Rakesh, how are you as a family?
She lived for something that transpired now. Everything is coming now to the fore. And it's difficult for us. The name came up in 2021, so was the trail not followed?
Are you as a family being kept up to speed about what has happened since?
We have never.
Are we continuing to fail your sister?
Exactly.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Ready to lead and make our world a better place, Regenesis School of Education proudly launches its revolutionary Bachelor of Education program. They don't just develop teachers, they develop conscious leaders equipped with IQ, STEM, AI, and emotional intelligence. Study in the heart of Sandton or online worldwide with a world-class faculty trusted by over 1,000 corporations and 500,000 alumni from 150 countries. Enroll now at regenesis.net/education. Regenesis School of Education, awakening potential.
When you're uploading massive files, does it really matter what your internet's download speed is? With business class internet, you get a connection that's as fast going up as it is down. Your company deserves business class internet because just reboot the router isn't a business strategy. Find reliability at vodacombusiness.co.za. Together, let's build the extraordinary. Further together, Vodacom Business.
Johannesburg, the Tribute to Women show is here. Join us on the 24th of August at Marks Park in Emerentia as we honor 31 years of democracy and the incredible contributions of women in South Africa. Featuring an all-star lineup, Keisha White, Ami Faku, Thandiswa Mazwai, Loyiso, and more. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. The Tribute to Women show, proudly presented by Sheer Entertainment.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good afternoon, Tabo, and hello to your guest. So just a quick question. Who decides what an improvement is for the lotto? Isn't transparency also an improvement? Because the use of technology, the way it is now, doesn't show transparency about what the process is like. Well, I mean, there's a lot of questions, even conspiracies that are coming up on social media, simply because there's lack of transparency. So making it transparent, isn't that an improvement? Because sometimes things may seem like it's an improvement because you use technology, but not all the time.
Exactly.
Application of technology brings about an improvement.
Hey, Bratibos. Good afternoon. Give that more bells. I started hearing her doing traffic from early breakfast with Zain.
Yes.
Bongani.
Yeah.
Bongani Bingo. Clement Manyatela. Midday report. Jenny Dutton. Now is you again on a money show. I'm autism break.
Yeah.
Autism bells. I'm always a mafia.
Yeah, she'll get it on the breakfast show.
Good afternoon, Tabo. Quick one, man. We as South Africans, we play Lotto with the hope and trust that it's a fair system. But I remember one particular draw where the winning numbers came out as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I think the Powerball was 10.
I remember.
For me, they looked way too perfect to be random. And if I recall, there were about 20 winners on that day. And I guess for most South Africans, it felt suspicious and almost staged. So my question is, how does the National Lottery explain such unusual sequences of numbers? And how can they assure us as the public that the draws are genuine, random, and are not being manipulated? Thanks. Sure.
A tough Phil, got my neck of the woods. Really appreciate those questions, and we will pass it over to them. Michelle will get those questions. And I agree with you. Upgrading technology does not necessarily translate into transparency. You'd remember 2007, if you are as old as I am at least, or following politics, there was a very huge controversial fiasco at the in Limpopo at the ANC conference, the Polokwane conference, that changed everything. Part of the fiasco was about digital voting versus manual voting, where the likes of Sihle Zigalala, Fikile Mbalula, and Julius Malema at the time literally stood on top of the desks that were there to say that they do not want digital voting because they were afraid that it's riggable easily than manual counting. So transparency, digital upgrading does not necessarily translate into transparency. Really appreciate those voice notes. Keep them coming through on 072 702 1702. 18 minutes to 5 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
With Tolagele Mganga. Welcome, Tolagele. What's the latest?
Well, Tabo, a spot in the first final of the season is on the line as the MTN 8 second leg semi-finals take place tomorrow. Stellenbosch are 2-0 up in their clash with Kukune United, and Steve Barker believes their CAF Confed Cup experience has taught them how to guard against complacency.
Never ever think that the job is done until it's done. We cannot become complacent. We cannot believe that a 2-0 lead is anything. In my opinion, you've got to start the game on a clean slate. We've got to approach it with positive mindset. We've got to be able to take the game to Sekhukhune and ensure that we don't just allow them. Obviously, the first 20-30 minutes will be crucial. We cannot go there and expect that they're not going to cause us problems. They're a good team.
It's 1-0 in the encounter between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, and as he looks to make his mark, Adeslam Madu has discussed the Buccaneers trying to win this trophy for a fourth season in a row.
Two big teams, Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. What we can expect more for a coach? So I think it's a big event for a coach, and we will try to prepare it in the best way to go through and to go to the semi-final, to the final, and to definitely to try to achieve something, because like I told you, we have a title to defend.
Lungingiti claimed a fiver and was named man of the match as South Africa won the second ODI against Australia by 84 runs. Batting first, Matthew Bretzker scored 88 and Tristan Stubbs 74 as the Proteas posted 277. And in response, Ngidi claimed 5 for 42 as the visitors took a 2-0 unassailable lead in the three-match series.
The beautiful thing about bowling second is I get to sit there and watch what works. And I saw Ellis's plan and he was pretty successful with that. So it kind of just gives you an idea of what's going to work later on in the innings. Watching Bartlett up front with the ball, it seemed to be, swinging or nipping around. It pretty much gives you a blueprint of, how to go about things. And pretty much go out there and execute.
Mzandile Stick says there's no room for error as the Springboks take on the Wallabies in the second test of the Rugby Championship. The double world champions are desperate for victory after a second half collapse saw them lose 38-22 in the first game at Ellis Park.
Look at the difference between playing July series against Italy and Georgia. You can still have a bad game and be able still to win the game. But now you're playing Rugby Championship against Australia, who they've got world-class players. You saw the errors that we've made. They capitalized from them, from even inside their half where they intercept tries and they lose passes and then they'll punish you. So that's a standard of the Rugby Championship, So we respect that.
Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you. What's the latest on our roads? How's the traffic looking?
Well,
high, low, or mild?
Well, it's, I'd say mild, but there's an accident reported in the city of Tshwane. This one is along the N1 North, right near Water Avenue. Delays coming out of the Brakpan interchange. And if you continue making your way all the way through the Flying Saucer interchange, do expect delays until you get to roundabout Linwood Road. Peak time delays there. The same goes for the southerly direction of this route. This is now due to peak time delays as well as an earlier accident. In Tembisa, roadworks are still causing delays along the R21 South coming out of Oliphants-Fontaine Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North, in fact bumper-to-bumper traffic, the N3 South rather, between the Baku interchange and the Geldenese interchange. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Do you want to buy a Honda? Cars.coza. Toyota or Mahindra? Cars.coza. Do you want to sell a Cherry? Cars.coza. Suzuki or Mercedes? Cars.coza. Polo, Kia, Mitsubishi, Havel, Hyundai, Lamborghini. Buy and sell, it's very easy. All you got to do is type Cars.coza. 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 Let's find what moves you. Cars.coza. Cars.coza.
702 Podcast.
On primemediaplus.com.
14 minutes to 5 o'clock. Welcome back. Thabo in for John. We're together till 6. Keep those voice notes coming through on 011-883-0702. That's for the calls, but for the voice notes and text messages, 072-702-1702. Guys, Amo and Tolagela, I wanted to ask you, have you ever experienced something so strange that if you related it to anyone else, no one else would believe you? Like no one would believe you that that thing happened to you, or you saw it, or it happened to someone else. Like something very, very strange. So I can see that none of that has happened to you. So let me share my story very quickly. And that's a question that we're asking you right now. So some years ago, I used to have this nice bachelor flat, which was amazing. I had some lovely parties, but I digress. The real story is one day, it was a Sunday, I decided just to take a quick nap. It was at about 11 o'clock, and I thought I'll wake up and get ready and go out much later on and do whatever it is that I would be doing. So I took a very quick nap, and I obviously put my phone next to me on the bed, and guess what? I could feel a part of me moving out of the actual body. I felt it was the other me. I could almost see it. It was not like a dream because I could see everything around me, right? And I could see, then I was wondering, where am I going? And I was just walking around, and I thought to myself in that trance or dream or whatever else, no, man. You can't go out. What if you get lost and then you can't come back into your body? And guess how I woke up? A phone rang. Bzzz, 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 with that buzzing thing. So if I shared that story, no one would ever believe me. People would think I'm mad.
I actually would believe you. It's what we call an out-of-body experience. And I wanted to actually share that story, my out-of-body experience.
Please do.
And for a very long time, I thought, man, no one is ever going to believe me if I share the story.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you are alone. It doesn't feel real. If anything, it feels like a dream, right?
Yeah.
But then I went on to read this book that Clement Manyatela suggested by Sarah Bullen, The Other Side. Yeah. And in this book, people then explain their out-of-body experiences, their near-death experiences, and just, being on the other side of life. And then I felt like, okay, then my story was real,
Valid,
yeah, it is valid. I've also experienced that way, but I was sick, and I was sleeping, obviously, because when you sleep, when you sick and you've taken your meds and you feel, and then I could feel sort of like you can see your body lying on the bed.
Yes.
I didn't feel the pain because then I was floating, but I could see my body lying right there on the bed. And it is just something that you can't explain to a person who's never experienced it.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah, you can't. I mean, I'd like to hear from you if you've experienced something like this. Mamfundis, anything like that?
Thabo, please respect. I really haven't. Like, I'm literally listening to the both of you guys, and I'm just like, no. I have never really experienced it, or maybe I have experienced it, and I just didn't take it into my subconscious.
Or anything else strange.
Nothing.
Ordinary life.
there was once when I had like a random panic attack while I was doing this panic attack has caused major changes in my life.
Yeah.
Because my friends are always like on me about mentioning when I'm going through stuff. But literally, I've had an experience where I had a panic attack, stopped breathing to the point where I'm like, I don't know exactly how I'm going to get out of the situation.
Yeah.
Because I was also home alone at the time.
Oh my.
But literally, it was just like a step at a time. And to this day, if I could tell you what caused it, I wouldn't know. Really? I've never had another one since, but it was so debilitating to the point where I was like, I'm going to go. And I don't know how long it's going to take people to figure out what is happening with me.
Well, we'd like to hear from you. Any strange thing that ever happened to you? Send a voice note to 072 702 1702, 10 minutes to 5.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Rendell's One Song, and this happens every single Friday where we get to be schooled by Rendell because his music taste is so vast. Really can't pin him down at all. Rendell, welcome to the show once more. Great chatting to you. I hope you're good.
I'm very good. Hope you are as well.
All is good on my side. And again, as I've told you before, I try not to peep and see what is it that you've prepared for us. I love being taken by surprise. And please, the floor is yours.
I know you're going to love this one. 1972, I'll Take You There by the Staple Singers.
Oh my goodness.
Are you happy?
I'm thrilled. I'll take you there. Is that the one?
That is the one.
Okay.
So there are numerous reasons why I could have chosen the song, but I very badly play bass. Very badly. I have to preface it with that. But there is a great bass line in the song, and it's a song that went to #1 on the US chart and was a massive hit around the world. So to hear a bass guitar solo in the middle of a pop song is quite special. And there's a channel that I follow on YouTube. And the guy was saying, I'm going to play you the most famous bass solo in a pop song. And, people would write in and give him thousands of other examples. And he said, well, let me tell you why I chose this example. My mom knows it. And I reckon that's as good an excuse for choosing it as anything. But it's very famous in that, Mavis Staples and Pop Staples went to a studio in Muscle Shoals, a very, very famous studio called Florence, Alabama Music Enterprises, with a bunch of amazing musicians, including the person who plays the bass solo, David Hood, Barry Beckett on piano, Jimmy Johnson, Raymond Banks on guitar, Eddie Hinton actually playing lead guitar and not Pop Staples, and a studio that countless people, including Aretha Franklin and the Rolling Stones, had recorded at, in order to make a record that went on to sell over 2 million copies. And it's just, as I say, it's such a great song in that, for me, the backing musicians known as the Swampers, there is so much space in what they play. Every musician allows the other musicians space. It's almost like, driving on the Autobahn. Everybody's driving safe, but driving fast, but there are no accidents.
Yeah.
And that's why I chose it.
And Rendell, I'm just loving the video. I've seen the video. It's not very clear in my mind, but also it was a bit iconic, wasn't it? Black and white or so.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we mustn't also forget, as I say, that the Staple Singers were extremely famous from a gospel point of view, right? So they were steeped in gospel.
Yes.
And Pop Staples' guitar, even though he doesn't play lead on this session, he was a massive influence on Jimi Hendrix, actually, as a rhythm guitarist.
Really?
Hendrix was fascinated by Pop Staples' rhythm guitar technique, absolutely, as was Curtis Mayfield. So, just as I say, just a song steeped in history, a group steeped in history, and a very, very deserved #1 and classic.
Let's give it a go and hear what Rendell is talking about. Staple Singers, I'll Take You There.
I know a place. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody worried. No.
need you here. Help me out. Come on, little baby. All right.
This is where it climaxes. Oh my goodness me. Rendell, this is such a powerful tune, man. And clearly, this is legendary. If they inspired Curtis Mayfield, Jimi Hendrix, at least the Pops, this means that they were in a league of their own.
Absolutely, and sorry, I got my facts a bit wrong earlier. This was obviously recorded at Muscle Shoals Sound Studios, which is in Sheffield, Alabama, and not at Fame, which is in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. But just as I say, it's such a fascinating track, and often you can get real powerhouses like Aretha Franklin or staple singers and marry them with a great rhythm section, but it just doesn't gel. But in this case, it's almost as though the track is better than the sum of the parts, and the parts are certainly not to be scoffed at.
Certainly. This I genuinely enjoyed, and we look forward to the next edition of this again, Rendell's on song. Thanks very much, and I wish you a great weekend, Rendell.
And to you.
Staple Singers, I'll take you there. 2 minutes to 5 o'clock on 702.
Naked people are great dancers. They can break it down to anything from soki to amapiano. That's because naked people get car and home insurance online in seconds, which means less time wasted on insurance admin and more time working on their whip and their nene for maximum wedding dance floor domination. Go to naked.insure now, get a quote in 90 seconds, and get naked, people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Luck could be on your side when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 69 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 26 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 43 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old and play responsibly. eTuba is the proud operator of the National Lottery. Johannesburg, the Tribute to Women show is here. Join us on the 24th of August at Marks Park in Emerentia as we honor 31 years of democracy and the incredible contributions of women in South Africa. Featuring an all-star lineup, Keisha White, Ami Faku, Thandiswa Mazwai, Loyiso, and more. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. The Tribute to Women show, proudly presented by Sheer Entertainment.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
702, coming up later on, we will look at the issues that have been taking place at SAMRO, and we will speak to Tebogo Setatu, SAMRO member and chairman of the United Civil Society in Action, about the firing of Mpho Mfikwe, suspension of Mpho Mfikwe. It's exactly 5 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Police ad hoc committee adopts its terms of reference, and the father of a murdered 3-month-old baby is a known gangster in Cape Town. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating police corruption has unanimously adopted its terms of reference, paving the way for the questioning of witnesses. These will guide how the committee conducts its inquiry after lengthy delays due to disagreements between parties on what should be included. The committee met today to finalize the terms of reference that include the use of an external legal expert. Babalondenze reports.
The ad hoc committee adopted the terms of reference after failing to finalize them in its last 2 meetings. The terms of reference will cover which witnesses must be invited, legal assistance for witnesses, as well as the scope and format of the inquiry. Committee Chairperson Soweto Lekganyane says the first order of business will be inviting the police.
The first institution that will appear before the committee will be the SAPS. And the first person in the SAPS will be General Mkhwanasi.
Lekganyane says Mkhwanazi will be followed by National Commissioner Fanima Semola as the accounting head and suspended Minister Senzo Mchunu. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
It has emerged that the father of a 3-month-old baby killed in a shooting in Bonteheuwel this morning is a known gangster in the area. 2 unidentified men entered a home in Yellowwood Street earlier and fired shots, leaving the baby with serious injuries. Police are investigating 1 count of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. A manhunt has also been launched for the suspects who fled the scene. Bishop Levy's CPF chairperson, Graham Lindhorst, says gang-related crime remains a major concern in the area.
The father of the child is a known gangster in the area, and it seems that they came for the father and the child was used as a shield, which I don't want to believe. That's the stories that goes around, because no father would do that to a 3-month-old child.
Lindhorst says he has warned police about these crimes for months now.
The community is angry because the shootings in that area has been going on for a long time, notwithstanding what some people are saying that Bonteheuwel is the safest place. It is not safe. There's shootings every day.
In the courts now, a crime intelligence officer who was allegedly promoted to a position she was not qualified for says the SA Police Service will be prejudiced if she is not allowed to go back to work. Dineo Mukwele appeared before the Pretoria Magistrates Court today in a bid to have her bail conditions relaxed. Mukwele, along with 6 other senior intelligence officers, are currently facing charges of fraud and corruption. Tabiso Koba has more.
It's alleged the 6 senior officers colluded to appoint Dineo Mukwele as a brigadier to a highly specialized position within the intelligence division, despite her lack of experience. The 30-year-old wants an amendment to the bail condition that prohibits her from entering any SAPS intelligence premises. In an affidavit read by her lawyer, Philo Mahlati, Mukwele says the SA Police Service has not released her from her duties.
Due to the attached bail conditions which prohibit me from accessing my employment station and or the crime intelligence officers of the Republic of South Africa, such suffices as an indirect dismissal of my employment. And I submit that it tramples my employment rights.
The matter resumes on the 8th of September for further oral arguments. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
Transport Minister Barbara Creecy insists that granting private train operators access to Transnet's rail network does not signal government's inability to manage rail on its own. Speaking at a media briefing today, Creecy announced that 11 private companies have been conditionally approved to transport commodities on Transnet's infrastructure. This effectively opens the market to private players who will now compete with the state-owned entity to move cargo on the national rail network. Alpha Ramashwana has more.
In a move already criticized by some as the privatization of services that should remain under state control, Transnet will no longer be the sole transporter of commodities on its rail network. Transport Minister Barbara Creecy has, however, assured critics that while private train operators will now be allowed access to the network, the rail infrastructure itself will remain in the hands of the state.
So this is not something that is unique to our country. These reforms that we're introducing, they have been done everywhere.
She adds that public-private partnerships in the freight rail sector are an established global practice.
We do not believe it's appropriate to privatize infrastructure ownership. We want there to be interoperability in a strategic economic asset.
The 11 private operators granted access must now acquire safety permits and other operational requirements before they can begin operating on the state-owned rail network. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And the United Nations has officially declared a famine in Gaza. The organization has blamed the systemic obstruction of aid by Israel for the deteriorating situation. The famine was declared by experts at the Rome-based IPC, who said it affected 500,000 people in Gaza. The IPC projected that the famine would expand by the end of September, covering around 2/3 of the region. Israel has angrily denied there was a famine, with the foreign ministry saying the report was based on Hamas lies laundered through organizations with vested interests. Gold is trading at $3,324.86 an ounce. The rand is at 17.61 to the dollar, 23.64 to the pound, 20.45 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.67 a barrel.
Heading towards Bryanston, there's delays on the N1 South between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive, while traffic remains very slow along the R21 South between Olifantsfontein Road and the R23. This is in the Tembisa area due to roadworks.
In your sport, final spot on the line as the second leg MTN8 semi-finals take centre stage. Springboks seek redemption in their second rugby championship test against the Wallabies. And Lungingidi stars as the Proteas win their ODI series against Australia.
A fine Saturday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 7 degrees, peaking at 29. Pretoria 9 and 30, and Vereniging 7 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating police corruption has unanimously adopted its terms of reference, paving the way for questioning of witnesses.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 5 o'clock, Thabo Sholemashao in for John Perlman. You're on 702. Great having you with us. And if you've just joined us, welcome. Please join us earlier next time because you've missed out on quite a lot, but in time for the rest. It's a Friday, so a little bit later on we'll do song, a book and a dish, and guess who's going to be on the hot chair for that. You've seen him on your screens and various podcasts, and also heard him on radio at some point. An actor extraordinaire, someone who's dedicated themselves to the acting arts and making sure that he's believable on various roles, and in some TV shows you'd call him Pasens Matabani, but if you were a little bit older you would then refer to him as Tlaron Klope. Tsepo Masako will join us for that one. Make sure that you stick around, and in a short while we'll also speak to Tebogo Sitatu about SAMRO, things that have been happening in that music organization. If you're a musician, please stick around, send us a voice note, contribute, and tell us how can SAMRO be improved. Alternatively, anything else that we've spoken about a little bit earlier on, you are also at liberty to share a thought or two on that. 072 702 1702.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Thabo. Me, the only system for withdrawal for Lotto, Ituba withdrawal. The one that I trust most is the one during the times of Nimrod Nkosi, where he would actually be live on TV and actually, put his hand in that little, thing and, pick the balls. That one is the most trusted because, this one of technology, they can actually get the machine to check, which numbers have been played, and make sure that the ones that have actually been played are not coming out. So this technology one and the improvements that they are talking about, I don't go with. There's a lot of discrepancies, especially when coming to lottery.
Classic indeed. Lenga lango kwaho. Balelo ile. Lenga lango kwaho. Balelo ile. That's how we used to sing it back in the days. J.M. Rustenberg.
Hey, Randall and Thabo. You guys have just revealed your ages, eh? Wow, this is a great song. It took me back to the golden days, guys. Great song indeed. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, and they're referring to Rendel's one song, Staple Singers. I'll Take You There is what Rendell was looking at today. 11 minutes after 5 o'clock, you're on 702.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. What's the latest on our roads?
Well, if you're traveling on the N1 south towards Roodepoort, do expect delays due to an accident near 14th Avenue. Delays from Malibongwe Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 south between Empire Road and Boysons Road while heading towards Deep Kloof. More delays on the N12 West between Xavier Street and the Deep Kloof interchange. There's also queuing traffic in Tembisa along the R21 south, and this is due to an accident after Olifantsfontein Road causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout and drive with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 81. You had load shedding, couldn't charge your phone, so you didn't have an alarm. Fortunately, with Outsurance pointsmen on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen easing traffic congestion and getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out, in proud partnership with 702. Show them some love online using #pointsmenlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
I was listening to the news and certain authorities in Parliament talking about Operation Dudula. We also agree that it is not a desirable, neither is it a thing that we should encourage, that people should be taking the law into their own hands. I argue if government was doing their job in terms of looking after our borders in the correct way, we wouldn't have to deal with all of these different issues as they enjoy life on the backs of the poor. And once again, I look to our political elite and I say, shame on you, you treacherous traitors.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
The 12th edition of the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is here. Experience unbeatable vibes this Heritage Weekend at the Kailami Grand Prix Circuit on the 20th and 21st of September. On Saturday 20, catch Don Toliver, Questa, Inkabi Zezwe, and more. Then on Sunday 21, don't miss the iconic Lauryn Hill on her 25th anniversary tour with special guests Wycliffe Jean, YG Mali, and Zion Mali, with Lyra, Mandisi Janchis and Zoe Mudeja also performing on Sunday. Tickets at Ticketmaster, the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star and proudly supported by 702.
Hi. I need balloons.
Sure.
Now. My dog barked. Pretty sure he said party.
Okay.
He was like...
At the Crazy Store, you'll find every excuse to celebrate.
Hi, me again. My houseplant survived another week. Where's your confetti?
And everything you need. Helium, gift wrap, dress up. And more. The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find. To have a good party.
Hi, I'm Dion Free. Winning requires audacity. That's why I joined African Bank and opened a 60-month fixed-term investment account. I'm scoring 12.8% interest at expiry on my investment. How cool is that? You too can join the bank that backs you to grow your money. Pop into a branch near you or visit africanbank.co.za. African Bank. Audacity to believe. African Bank is a licensed financial services and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Luck could be on your side when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 69 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 26 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 43 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old and play responsibly. E2 is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Live extra at Checkers, SA's #1 value for money supermarket, and save on Omo Auto Liquid Detergent, 1.5 litre or capsules, 14 or 16 pack, any two for 159 rand. Parliamentary flat cheddar or Gouda cheese, 850 grams, any two for 239 Rand. And ripe and ready avocados, buy any 2 packs and save 10 Rand. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
16 after 5. Today, Transnet somehow attempted to break its decades-long monopoly on South African rail. The minister announced, that's Minister Barbara Creecy, applicants have been conditionally awarded rail slots and now will proceed to the next stage of negotiations and contracting. And the minister said that it's a 6 months evaluation process, and it's a very interesting and very important move as far as our economy is concerned, that has been reliant largely on road as opposed to rail, and this really shifts the envelope somehow. But someone who knows more about this than myself is Professor Jan Havenga, who's Emeritus Professor at Industrial Engineering, Stellenbosch University, and Director of Gain Group. Prof, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702.
Thank you for the invite.
Long overdue?
Yes, I would say long overdue, but it is what it is. The Department of Transport took quite a few years to get a grip on the rail policy, but in the last few years before 2022, a lot of hard work was done. And if I think that the rail policy was passed by Cabinet 3 years ago, I can also say a mere 3 years ago. You know, in this country, things can sometimes go very slow. To think in 3 years' time, we have a rail policy, we have a freight logistics roadmap. The minister, they got the private sector process, the whole process, how they're going to do it, passed by Cabinet. That was all the previous government that passed all of that. And the current minister, the hard work that she's done in getting the network statement for private sector operators ready, to get a tariff that is useful, that works, that can work, all of the work around that, and to set up the PSP office that she's busy with. So there's a lot of stuff that's been done in the last 3 years, and especially in the last year by the current minister. It is significant. You say years, you know, that the railway has been a monopoly since 1910. So this is 115 years in the making. So this is great. This is the good part of the news, and we need it. And I heard that some people say, you know, whether this government now giving up or anything like that. Government still owns the infrastructure, just the same as they own the road infrastructure. There's no difference. It's the same thing. But the government does not run lorries, and I think it's good that the private sector can compete. That's great.
Various low-hanging fruit, of course, a bit of relief on the roads that have been battling with trucks moving up and down, carrying heavy material. I suppose that will also help. As other surrounding countries in the SADC region, looking at the Trans-Kalahari routes and various others, surely this puts us in a favorable way. And it is said that investment in rolling stock could unlock 100 billion worth of investment. Are we turning the corner eventually?
Let me be cautiously optimistic as far as that is concerned. You know, a year ago, people asked me about the ports, and I said that within a year, I think the ports is going to get better. SAF, the Associated of Freight Forwarders, has now confirmed that it is clearly getting better. As far as this is concerned, there is one big stumbling block still in our way, and that is we need to fix the network. That is very important. I mean, you refer now to something like investment in rolling stock. If you run a train from Durban to Johannesburg, and that train should take maybe 15 to 25 hours, but it takes 3 times that time. And you need 240 million rand locomotives to pull that train. You need 40 wagons, and that 40 wagons are going to cost you another more than R1 million each. You think if you have an investment here of more than 100 million that's sitting on that track. Now, if that goes 3 times slower than it should, the business case is not very good. So I'm very glad that this is done institutionally. The minister has made a massive amount of progress here. She's done a lot of good work. We will need to get a grip on getting the infrastructure fixed. Now, as far as I know, we haven't even properly done an independent assessment yet of the condition of the exit. We've done it for the 2 export lines, but for the rest of the network, we very clearly and very quickly need to get our infrastructure fixed. And some of the issues there is not been solved.
Prof, we'll have to leave it at that. This is a very interesting development. We'll have to follow it very closely. Of course, there are processes that will unfold, as I said. And in Botswana, I know that there would be Mositsi Kazankula going to Zimbabwe. And also, Zambia is also interested in the Trans-Kalahari. This is extremely interesting for the private sector. I really appreciate your time, Prof. We'll chat again in the near future. 21 minutes after 5.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
702 indeed. If you have been following the news about music in South Africa, you'd know that the South African Music Rights Organization Chief Operating Officer Mpho Mofikwe claimed that the recent suspension from the organization was punishment for fighting fraud and all maladministration that was taking place in that institution. Joining us to give us more bit of a light is Tebogo Sitatu, SAMRO member and chairman of the United Civil Society in Action, UCSA. Tebogo, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Tibos, and afternoon to all the 702 lenders.
The issue with the CEO, is it linked purely to what she's saying, that she was unearthing and unveiling shenanigans that were taking place? But clearly SAMRO thinks otherwise about it.
SAMRO is a crime scene. Thank you, Tavo. They are lying. The COO is spot on 100%. And the reason I know is that I was part of the meeting of the last extraordinary general meetings of members, wherein she didn't even just come out to speak. She was specifically asked to speak by the chairperson of the meeting of the board, Mr. Maweni, and said after a presentation by the CEO, because of Ms. Mpho Mofikwe, she actually is the driver and lead person on behalf of the organization for the forensic report that has implicated some of the board members that we removed in that very same meeting. So she is 100% spot on. She has this is pure victimization. This is pure, cover up by the not the entire board, by the way. People should note, by the 4 independent, so-called independent board directors, led by the chairperson of the board.
And then she alleges that various publishers had obtained over 60 million rand from SAMRO fraudulently. Are you aware of this, Tebogo?
Yes, absolutely. This is part of the forensic report, which we as members have been we first started by requesting for it, and it's because if it was not forthcoming, the independent board directors are covering up. They would not release it, and we started to demand for it. So those names appear amongst the 60 names of people who have claimed from what we call undocumented works. What are the undocumented works? It's where money that sits in the pot for works that whose owners have not been identified, and so you find that there are people who are colluding and with some of the SAMRO staff and board members to claim illegally money that belongs to musicians who otherwise may not even know that their monies are there. After you guys as music users, radio stations are paying SAMRO millions of rands to pay their members, which are musicians.
And clearly you want to recover this in order to take this money back into the hands of people who are creating the beautiful music that we get to listen to.
Absolutely. And Tabo, it's not a secret. How many times do you read about musicians dying as paupers, and yet music users, broadcasters like yourselves, including the biggest ones, SABC, paying hundreds of millions to SAMRO and other collecting management organizations to pay musicians, but the money never reaches them. Guess what? The money just circulates amongst a few powerful people. So we are cleaning up SAMRO now, and our agenda is to clean up SAMRO, institute an interim board, remove those that are corrupt, and then once we've done that, stabilize the organization, and then move on to the next collective management organization. We're going to clean all of them up.
Tebogo, thanks for your time. Tebogo Sithathu, SAMRO member and chairman of the United Civil Society in Action. 25 after 5.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
26 minutes after 5 o'clock, and please keep those voice notes coming through on 011-883-0702. Well, that's for the calls. Alternatively, for the voice notes, 072-702-1702. And I would love to hear from you. And that very interview with Tebogo Sithathu about SAMRO is very important, simply because there are a number of musicians who are not really getting their royalties. That money ends up somewhere else, as opposed to their bank accounts. Years and years later, we find out that the allegations against the executives who have misused this money. Serious work that needs to be done. And we only wake up when musicians hit the streets and start protesting and complaining about their monies. And as Tebogo said, when some of them pass away, we blame them and we say that they didn't save their money, but they didn't get their money to start with. 27 after 5.
EWN Business.
Speaking of money, the presenter of the Money Show, who will give us everything else that has got to do with money, finances, markets, and all else in between. Stephen Protes.
Tabo, good afternoon. I'll give you everything except money. The JSE All Share in a Friday mood, up nearly a full percent. So a very strong close at 102,724. Yes, a new record. Financials up 2%. Industrials up 1%. Resources down 0.44% on the day. So there's been a lot going on in the United States. Jerome Powell has been speaking. His comments are now being interpreted as that there will be another interest rate cut. So I think that probably he was speaking from around 4 o'clock our time, and I think that sort of came in and sort of gave the market a little bit of a rally, a bit of a push. That's one of the reasons financial shares are up. Aspen, though, ending the day down 7%. They said they'll report a loss for the year to the end of June. They've already lost half of their market value over the last year. They spent quite a lot of money restructuring in China, which has had huge issues for them. Blue Label Telecom's giving up some of the gains from yesterday. It's down 2.5%. Telkom are down 4%. And then some of the gold and platinum miners are down. That's despite actually the fact that the gold price is a little bit higher. Strangely, one of them which is down is Goldfields. They did jump earlier, but they reported a jump in profit over 160%. That really tells you what a very high gold price can do for you. Exara are up 5%. Tungela are up nearly 5% as well on the day. And then Grindrod, the logistics company, announcing a special dividend. It reported a 23% jump in headline earnings. And just to mention, the Transport Minister, Barbara Creasy, confirming that she's granted 11 privately owned operators permission to run on Transnet's rail. So the beginnings of very real change, Tabo, to our railway system. Okay, so in the US, Jerome Powell's comments at Jackson Hole, he's the chair of the US Federal Reserve, suggesting that there could be an interest rate cut, but also saying that there is higher inflation, also saying that there's no doubt that tariffs are now having an impact on inflation figures. The Dow Jones is up 1.85%, the Nasdaq is up 2%, the S&P 500 is up 1.6%. This is all because of that speech. The gold price, $3,377.35 an ounce. Platinum, $1,376.30. Brent crude, $67.71. And then the rand much stronger to the dollar, 17.45 to the euro, 20.46 to the British pound, 23.62. On the Money Show this evening, we'll be talking more about Patricia de Lille's actions in firing the board of SA Tourism. Tabo, I've been looking around. I have not seen her make any public comment on it.
Never have I.
You know her as well as I do.
Yeah,
I mean,
she would have jumped.
Yeah, boxing gloves on and the whole bit. So I'm quite surprised. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that on the Money Show.
I had you speaking to Wayne Duvenage the other day about it, and he was saying that Patricia is on the wrong side of the argument.
Well, yeah. And I mean, look, obviously a lot of people have very strong views, but you're only going to get one view if you don't speak yourself. Yeah. And Patricia de Lille is, I don't think, scared of a radio interview. No, I mean, not my experience of it.
Not at all. Neither is mine.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk also about the explosion in gin over the last 10 years, because there's been a massive explosion in gin. You see it everywhere. You can't get away from the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible.
Try to get us some while you edit.
No comments. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
Bali Dlamini will give us the very latest on Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon once again, Bali. What's the latest?
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. Well, lobby group My Vote Counts has lost a High Court bid to have the Political Funding Act, declared unconstitutional. The court has also dismissed its arguments that the president should not be allowed to determine the limit for private donations and that all donations should be declared. The organisation, which has until now had regular success in the courts to challenge the way in which parties are funded, says its aim remains to curb elite influence over the country's politics. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
With the country's wealthiest families and philanthropists having become common benefactors of political parties, My Vote Counts went to court in February to argue that the original 15 million rand annual limit for donations was excessive and unjustifiable. This week, that limit was officially doubled by the President on the recommendation of Parliament, as well as the threshold for disclosing donations to 200,000 rand. In a judgment by a full bench, the court says there's no merit to the challenge that Parliament has delegated its authority to the President, since he makes the determination on the advice of the National Assembly. While My Vote Counts argued the original figures were arbitrarily determined back in 2018, the court says it doesn't have the jurisdiction to determine whether the public participation process was inadequate. My Vote Counts' Joel Bregman says the organisation will continue to litigate to deepen the right of access to information so that the electorate can exercise their voting rights from an informed position. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
A Gauteng police officer has been sentenced to 20 years behind bars by the South Gauteng High Court for the murder of her partner. 30-year-old Constable Courtney Madela was found guilty of killing her partner, Nomalungelo Khumalo, during an argument in February last year. The court heard that Madela threw acid at her partner, badly damaging her face and body. Khumalo died in hospital just a few days later. IPID spokesperson Lizzie Shuping says they welcome the sentence handed down.
IPID's investigation revealed that the accused officer disposed of the acid container after the incident. She thus faced a charge of murder, assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, and defeating the ends of justice.
And in the U.S., Lyle Menendez is appearing before the California Parole Board today to seek freedom. His brother Eric appeared before the board yesterday and was denied parole. The two brothers' hearings come more than 35 years after the shotgun murders of their parents in their family's Beverly Hills home. Yesterday, the parole board found that Eric Menendez continues to pose an unreasonable risk to public safety if released, listing his teenage criminal history and the serious violations of prison rules as some of the reasons for denying him parole. The parole board's decision is not final. It could undergo internal review for up to 120 days after that. A fine Saturday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 7 and 9 degrees and highs of between 27 and 30.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 South between the Kilulis Interchange and Van Buren Road. Traffic is also heavily backed up on the N1 South between Beyers-Naudé Drive and the N17 turnoff due to that accident scene, as well as peak time delays.
The top story in EWN, lobby group My Vote Counts has lost a High Court bid to have the Political Funding Act declared unconstitutional.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
So you're fairly new, right?
Yes.
When did you start?
I started last year.
And how would you say the experience has been since you started? Especially given the cases you've attended to. Like when you're new, do they take you to like light cases first, or sometimes they just throw you in the deep?
I was thrown in the deep. I would say I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I really love it every day. Whenever there's a call, whenever we run out of the station, I feel like I'm a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, about to get candy. That's how I feel. I enjoy it every moment.
Peace Sishuro, the firefighter.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for optometrists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Here's Chrissy.
Business Outsurance is the best insurer for my business. They have great premiums, wonderful service. I know without a doubt that Outsurance has my back, and You always get something out with Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Ready, jet, go! 2 fully paid trips to the Abu Dhabi Motor Racing Spectacular must be won in the thrilling new JetX competition exclusive to Hollywood Bets. An unforgettable experience awaits on one of the fastest circuits on the planet, with the world's top drivers battling for supremacy. To stand a chance to win, bet 10 Rand or more on JetX. 1 million Rand in cash is also up for grabs. Hollywood Bets. Fly higher with our multiplier. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Johannesburg, the Tribute to Women show is here. Join us on the 24th of August at Marks Park in Emerentia as we honor 31 years of democracy and the incredible contributions of women in South Africa. Featuring an all-star lineup, Keisha White, Ami Faku, Thandiswa Mazwai, Loyiso, and more. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. The Tribute to Women show, proudly presented by Shea Entertainment.
EWN Sport.
With Tolagele Mganga. Afternoon again, Tolagele, what's the latest?
Well, Thabo Adeslam Madu believes that the second leg of Orlando Pirates' MTN8 semi-final against Mamelodi Sundowns will be decided by who shows more heart. The two clash tomorrow with the game poised finally at 1-1.
It's here, it's in the head, it's mental. Do you want to go through? Do you want to go to the final? Are you fancy to keep the title? Are you going to play as a unit? Sometimes in the cup games, you need to go to find the resources, especially when you play extra time. We don't think about tiredness. It's how you deal with the event, how starving you are, how hungry you are on the pitch. Do you want the cup more than the opponent or not?
For Miguel Cardoso, he says there's no chance of taking things easy despite having an away goal advantage.
It's not over even in my way of approaching a football game, and not in the nature of our players in our club. We have a big responsibility, and the responsibility is obviously to make the best possible out of this semi-final, and to make it we need to be aggressive enough to have our moments, to create our moments and to score goals. I believe that we need to score goals if we want to go through.
Stellenbosch will take a 2-0 lead into their clash with Kokuna United, and Steve Barker wants his side to finish the job as they look to reach successive MTN8 finals.
I don't think it's necessarily a revenge type of mentality that we need. I think the important part for us is to just basically concentrate just on Saturday's match and not have any thoughts of a final until we have progressed into a final. Obviously, we don't know who the opposition would be should we make the final. So yeah, we don't have thoughts of any sort of retribution or any revenge. We will just look forward to the final.
The Springbok women have named an experienced lineup for their Rugby World Cup opener against Brazil on Sunday. Only 4 players in the starting team, including Ayanda Malinga, haven't played in the tournament before, while Nolusindisi Boy will extend her current women's record of 52 caps and 25 appearances as captain. For the men, they're up against Australia in the second test of the Rugby Championship. Captain Jesse Grell has discussed wanting to ratify their mistakes from last weekend's defeat.
We've obviously been in that position before, and I also think you can't miss the fact that it's one game. So, and the great thing about this sport is you get another chance. Luckily, we've got another chance this weekend. And yeah, everyone's looking forward to the game tomorrow.
And Lungi Ngidi was named man of the match as the Proteas won their second ODI against Australia by 84 runs. Batting first, South Africa posted 277. And in response, Ngidi claimed 5 for 42 to lead them to victory and an unassailable 2-0 lead in the 3-match series. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo Ramela has got the latest for us. What's happening, Amo?
Well, heading towards Deep Kloof, we've got an accident on the N12 West. It happened right near the Deep Kloof interchange. Delays coming out of Xavier Street off-ramp. So please Be on the lookout there and approach with care. If you're traveling out of Randburg, we've got delays on the N1 South between Bearsmedia Drive all the way towards the N17 turnoff, also due to an accident as well as peak time delays there. There's also peak time pressure along the Mike 1 South between Empire Road and the Crown Interchange while traveling in Tembisa. Delays on the R21 South between Olifantsfontein Road and the R25, and that's due to an accident as well. Please be on the lookout and continue driving with care. I'll have your next traffic updates coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a nervous but excited first-time driver waiting for the perfect gap to switch lanes. I can do this. The pressure. The Outsurance pointsman knows not just a car in traffic. It's a sense of freedom and independence on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual-action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple-action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it. Johannesburg, the Tribute to Women show is here. Join us on the 24th of August at Marks Park in Emerentia as we honor 31 years of democracy and the incredible contributions of women in South Africa. Featuring an all-star lineup, Keisha White, Ami Faku, Thandiswa Mazwai, Loyiso, and more. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. The Tribute to Women show, proudly presented by Shea Entertainment.
Dreaming of a tropical escape? World Leisure Holidays has your ticket to paradise with exclusive getaways to the Indian Ocean Islands. From the beaches of Mauritius and the Maldives to the charm of Madagascar, Seychelles, Zanzibar, and more, your dream destination awaits. Take advantage of early bird specials and pay stay offers. Call 011-285-2500 and mention 702 for a mystery discount. Or follow us on social media or contact your nearest travel professional. Start planning your escape today. T's and C's apply.
A song, a book, and a dish.
On 702.
It's about to be served right now on 702. Welcome back, 17 minutes to 6 o'clock. Thabo Sholemashao in for John Perlman. And at this particular juncture of the show, John would be speaking to a very interesting person, looking at what is it that they're reading, listening to, and just generally their life. And we close off with a song from our special guest. And indeed, today, a special guest. You called him Parsons, you called him Clarence, you've called him various other names. He's sitting in front of me. The great, the indomitable, the ever-talented, vibrant Tshepo Maseko. Welcome, bro.
Thank you.
Lovely having you
Say
here.
that intro again. Say that.
What? Never, Shem. In voice. Never. You're good.
I'm very good, thank you.
It's lovely that you're here in studio. I really appreciate it.
I love your studios.
Yeah.
I think I should not leave.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, they say something about a good guest knows when to leave, but that's a story for another day. But listen, do you feel that there's a role that you have done that people are unable to forget completely? Almost like Dr. Kumalo playing for Chiefs, you know. Is there something like that? Or have you been very versatile and fortunate to be associated with various productions? Neither of those is a bad thing at all.
Look, I was fortunate to play a father who loses a son due to crime on a show called Saints and Sinners.
Yes.
That character pushed me to the limits.
Mm-hmm.
I had never because as an actor, you draw from somewhere.
Yeah.
If you have not been there, then you have to do your research to find out about from people who have been there emotionally and experientially. And that character pushed me. I mean, he was a married man, loving father, and the robbers come in and he loses a son and he loses himself.
Yeah.
He goes berserk. Just like every other South African feels now who has been a victim of crime.
Yeah.
That role pushed me to the limits. From a successful family man to a crime victim to justice seeker to committing crime in the name of justice to letting go. That whole journey was taxing to another level.
Drawing from somewhere, you said, how much of it comes from Midlands? How much of it comes from where you grew up? How much of it comes from the community that gave birth to you?
All of it. An actor is living a stage, a theater piece yet to be performed. Whatever it, my being here right now is an experience that I'm going to draw from later on in some show or the other, whether as a director or as a producer or as a writer or as an actor. But every life experience, that is why we are crazy, because I mean we are many in one. I mean that's grand. The older ones, the current ones, ego, pride, and fame. So I happen to be the one of those who are transgenerational. But you very little of you is yourself. A lot of you is what you've experienced and what other people around you've experienced.
Very fascinating you should say that. I once saw an interview with Vusi Kunene who said that, and I could be wrong, who said that when an actor or actress says that they are unable to shake off a role, they are lying, because you can do that. Of course, then when you assume the stage, that comes back to you almost like a trance. Are you able to shake off some of the characters that you have played, or does it take a little bit of time?
Vusi was talking about professional actors, not amateur actors.
Where do you stand?
Amateur actors cannot shake off roles.
Yeah.
People take their roles to the streets. They take them to their houses. They take them to their homes. They take them to their...
Really?
Yes. Especially if it's beautiful characters.
Yeah.
Some actors like to carry on, offset that rich character, that famous character.
Did you do that with Tarantlop?
No.
Okay.
I had nowhere to draw from as a young boy on Tarantlop.
Yeah.
Because Tarantlop was a cheese boy. He's the first cheese boy on television.
Yeah, truly.
I came from a family of humility and of proper law and
in
rules.
Soweto.
Yeah, Zone 9 Midlands. My parents could not be bothered whether I was on TV or not. If it was my time to wash dishes, it was my time to wash dishes.
And what were you eating at home?
No, serious. My mom's special dish when I tabo. The birthday or you know, her go-to meal.
Yeah.
But that's a big pot of rice. I can chopped up chicken. I can the mixed veggie.
Oh, very
so
nice.
I want to and my mom's custard.
Yeah.
My guy.
Yeah.
My guy. My guy.
Did she make it, or was it bought from?
No.
Yeah.
To this day,
with milk.
All the grandchildren, they lick their pots.
Really?
Yeah. From Catherine Baby Masego's custard.
Yeah.
Oh my! That woman cooks from her heart.
Really?
And I was blessed to have a wife like that.
Oh my goodness me! Scoring some points, I see. Hey, scoring some points, I see. But listen, now, what was your favorite meal out of all of those meals? That
to this day, because I can make it with my eyes closed,
Yeah.
to this day, it's still my go-to meal. It's still my favorite
Really?
meal.
The rice and chopped
Because how many people say, I don't eat chicken?
Well, very few
You know what I
in
mean?
South Africa.
Some people say, I don't eat pork, I don't like beef, I don't like lamb.
Yeah.
But almost everyone says, I'm good with chicken.
Yes.
So you know there's a meal and it's got veggies in it. So there's health there. Chicken is not an unhealthy meal.
Yeah.
You know? So, and it's easy to make. I mean, you boil chicken. And then, or you buy it ready-made from wherever your favorite store, and then you add some roast veggies. It's easy to make. It's a healthy meal.
Wow. And that recipe
by the
comes
way,
from
I'm a
Tsepo
king-
Maseko's
Yes.
recipe book,
Yes.
which is going to be released sometime in 2027.
Yeah, why not? I'm a king of breakfast. I must just,
Really?
Yeah.
What do you have for breakfast?
Okay. What I don't know what you call it because I don't eat it. But I prepare it well. Pork.
Really?
Bacon.
Yeah.
I can rock it for you.
Well,
I
it's
got
in the
kolobe,
eating.
man. I don't like the animal that doesn't like itself.
But you happen to prepare it so well.
But it smells nice.
Yeah,
it
does.
smells
It does.
delicious,
It
man.
does.
And I'm not allergic to it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a religious thing.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
What are you reading, Tsepo, and what do you like reading? Or maybe give us an impression of a book that really, really touched you and shook you in a different way.
T.D. Jake's book about how to be a man. I was reading simultaneously Ntate Jerry Mofokeng about being a man.
Ah, yes.
It felt to me like those guys were in two different countries communicating every day about how to write the same book for different continents.
Really.
Yo, Tabo. And I had the pleasure of meeting Tate Jerry as a performer like when I was at Grace Bible Church.
Yes.
So we performed for men. about issues that men battle with. And then I had met him at that level before I worked with him, before I even read his book. So by the time I read his book, I understood what he wrote is actually what he stands for. Those two books, Le Purpose Driven Life. Yeah. I've read many books, but there's one book that I keep going back to. Currently, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich.
I see you have
and
it
it's
here.
an old book. And okay, this one I was money for couples. No more stress, no more fights. Just a 10-step plan to create your rich life together.
Was it the message somehow to you?
Yeah. Clearly it was. And I just finished reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
But there's one book that I always go back to as my default book at all time. It's the Bible tab.
Really?
You know all the answers are in the Bible. All of them, my guy.
Okay, which part of the Bible speaks to you?
Money, discipline.
I'm saying which book necessarily? Is
Psalms,
there specific? Yeah.
Proverbs.
Yes.
Make time.
How do you know? How do you know?
Let me tell you.
I haven't.
Thank goodness to technology.
Yes.
Whatever you're going through,
yeah,
punch it in and say the Bible. It'll take you straight to those books.
Really?
All the answers.
Are you a religious person? And some people distinguish religion and spirituality.
For me, not difference. I get because my issue, the source is one. I don't care whether you're Indian or colored, or I don't care whether you're rich or poor. I don't care if you're male or female. The source is one. We all breathe the same oxygen. The same oxygen comes from one person. So we are all those that divide us for no reason.
Yeah.
We all have red blood, all of us.
Indeed.
We all have eyes. So let's not confuse us. We all have the same sun. The same moon.
Yes.
So I don't get confused. The source is one.
Tsepo Maseko is my guest, and he's on our wonderful feature every Friday called A Song, A Book, and a Dish. And we're just discovering this, that, and the other about him. Now, I'm sure in Midlands you were exposed to some beautiful music. Ndofaya. People from Ndofaya listening. So some of the songs that you were listening to before we get to your song, but the sounds that you were hearing as a young Tsepo wearing uniform, going to school on Sunday, going to church, playing soccer on the streets, moving around. What sort of sounds were they?
My parents molded a lot of my ear. They played Brooke Benton, bro. Yeah. They sang to Brooke Benton together.
Yeah, Lied to Me.
Yeah. But Chains of Love.
Yeah.
Tied my heart to you. No, but they were on another level. I mean, I think they'd forgotten who they've got children around them. I promise you, my parents they were just having a ball in front of us, and we just absorbed this music.
Yeah.
And Maraka Kokireking.
Yes.
Sunday. Because I'm Catholic.
Oh, okay. Same here. I happen to.
Tabo. Go St. Michael's Roman Catholic Church.
I know. At the corner.
Yes.
Yeah. The Facebook is.
Most Catholic churches are at the corner.
Well, I suppose you got me there.
Our Lady of Peace Catholic Church got a report.
Okay. It's also in the corner.
As I just said.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of a parish that's not in the corner to catch you off, but that's okay.
Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the music. Miriam Makeba was my mom's favorite.
Really?
Never consciousness songs.
Yes.
Bo nanku sobukwe. I'm like, why do they play these songs?
Yeah.
They're quietly conscious. And my dad was very big on discipline.
Yeah.
My mom was big on spirituality.
Yeah.
And to a certain point, it seemed like they would disagree. But how these things actually
speak to
each other. We are nothing. One, I can give you 100 million, but without discipline, it's over for you.
I'll take it anyway.
Yeah, but without discipline, it's over for you.
I know.
I blew it.
Yeah.
So discipline and groundedness and knowing your source. Because look, I'm very passionate about issues about main issues. A lot of men know this day and age. Bakowisha simply because they present themselves as monetary factors. Naki kisi I earn so much.
Yeah.
I own this. The day you don't earn those things.
Where's your manhood?
Exactly.
You are empty without that title, without that money, without that salary slip. Tsepo, I mean, I could talk to you forever, and we are live on YouTube, by the way, but I could speak to you forever and ever. You need to give us your song. You need to come back to the show. Gosh.
Yeah, for not for 15 minutes, please.
Yeah. No.
Especially on a Friday.
Yeah. But next time it's going to be far longer. But for now, what song did you choose?
Yeah. It was the time when Fame was almost kind of like wanting to play. Power was almost kind of wanting to play with me.
Yeah.
But his song spoke to me. Wabona zonke.
Yeah.
Yo Pinele Thabo. It's yo utla fela idlala. Listen to that.
Oh, beautiful.
Just listen to these lyrics.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this song.
Bro, thanks for coming through. Really appreciate it. We're out of time. Please do come back.
It's a date.
5 minutes to 6. Buga love.
Manje sengikhulile ngihambile ngibonile akekho umuntu ophethe uthando lomculo njenga ngoba mina ngiyasithandela into yami mina ngiyayifela futhi akekho umuntu ozongitshela izitha zami ngiyazithandazela suka kudala umuntu afisa ukuthi angaphumelela ngaphandle kwezidakamizwa ngaziyeka uNkulunkulu uyazi ukuthi ngithembe kuyena wathi mfana mina thatha dlala umhlaba wakho jikelele zonke amateka amasha nabantwana bakhe zonke ama-VA amadana ngithi zonke the good life the good food zonke Isfuna zonke amateka amasha nabantwana bakhe zonke ama-VA amadana ngithi zonke the good life the good food zonke Isfuna zonke Wena kaza wayeketheta Wena kaza wamamakaza Wena kaza wayeketheta Wayithuputha Bekubuko yazenze Bekubuko yazidede Bekubuko yazenze Uyazithintitha Ngithi ngiyazifuna lezinto ngiyazifuna Ngiyakutshela ukuthi mina ngizosithola Ngoba ngithi sengiyabona ukuthi ubungana bukho ngazibona Usajola Ngisayophanda ngizokubona Izinto zami zingimele Sifuna amandla kwamaphelele Ngoba mina ngizimisele Ukujabisa abantu ngikujwayele Mangikhuluma ngalalela Istyle umlahlo ngiyasidedela Suka kudala umuntu afisa ukuthi angaphumelela Ngaphandle kwezidakamizwa ngaziyeka uNkulunkulu uyazi ukuthi ngithembe kuyena wathi mfana mina thatha dlala umhlaba wakho jikelele zonke amateka amasha nabantwana bakhe zonke ama-VA amadlala ngithi zonke the good life the good food zonke Isfuna zonke amateka amasha nabantwana bakhe zonke ama-VA amadlala ngithi zonke the good life the good food zonke Isfuna zonke Wena kaza wayeketheta Wena kaza wamamakaza Wena kaza wayeketheta Wayithuputha Bekubuko yazenze Bekubuko yazidede Bekubuko yazenze Uyazithintitha zonke Ngoba mina ngiyasithandela into yami mina ngiyayifela futhi akekho umuntu ozongitshela izitha zami ngiyazithandazela ngoba mina ngizimisele ukujabisa abantu ngikujwayele mangikhuluma kuyalalela istyle umlahlo ngiyasidedela okay love is gonna do it one time and his star shines like the sunshine success says it's gonna be mine it's time for the big time no nickel and dime suka kudala umuntu afisa ukuthi angaphumelela ngaphandle kwezidakamizwa ngaziyeka uNkulunkulu uyazi ukuthi ngithembe kuyena wathi mfana mina thatha dlala umhlaba wakho jikelele zonke amateka amasha nabantwana bakhe zonke ama-VA amadlala ngithi zonke the good life the good food zonke Isfuna zonke amateka amasha nabantwana bakhe zonke ama-VA amadlala ngithi zonke the good life the good food zonke Isfuna zonke
The chair situation. And I was laughing at Mr. Chairman. It happens to me, Stephen Holtis.
The chairs just disappeared. I
Just
don't
like
even
that.
know. It's like gone.
I don't know. I don't know where it
It's like
went.
the Springboks during the second half.
I loved spending time with you in John's absence, and he's back on Monday. Really appreciate your time. Have a lovely one. We're chatting to Tsepo Maseko, and catch you again. Stephen Holtis is up next, 1:06.
for giving us such a nice track. Yes, y'all.
And now, the Money Show
with Stephen Grootes, live on 92.7 and 106 FM. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app
and DSTV channel 856.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, backing the Ideas Fund by advancing capital to African infrastructure investment managers. Good evening on your Money Show this Friday evening. Why is Patricia de Lille, of all people, so quiet in the face of such strong criticism for her dissolving the SA Tourism Board? Explosive revelations about the rhino trade in a famous conservationist. And also tonight, why is the gin business exploded? And how big is the South African market really for port? All of that to come. But first, the very latest Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Maki Molapo. Transport Minister Barbara Creecy says Transnet stands to gain financially from its decision to permit private companies to operate trains on its freight rail network. The state-owned entity has officially opened the freight rail sector by granting access to 11 private operators, allowing them to use its infrastructure. These private firms will now compete with Transnet